Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Thinkers Lounge Live. Today, I have a very special guest. His name is Joey G. He is the former VJ for Channel V and right now a parental rights activist. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Joey G.
Hey, what's up? Hey, thanks for having me. But bro, before we start anything, can I just start and ask you to join me in taking 30 seconds of silence just to in remembrance of a very great man. His name is Mr. Gerard Lazarus. He was my lawyer. He passed away 2 days ago. So if you don't mind, if it's okay, we can just have 30 seconds of silence in remembrance of Mr. Gerard. Rest in peace, Mr. Gerard.
Yes, rest in peace, Mr.
Great
Gerard.
man. Such a. I'm sorry to start off the show on a topic like that, but yeah, it's been a strange week.
Yeah. I mean, your story first caught my attention. I believe it was almost half a year or maybe a year ago. Yeah, where I was following your Instagram and then I saw you sharing stories about what's going on with you and your is it your former wife? Am I right to say that? Or
No, we were never married. That's
never
also part
married.
of the problem.
I see. All right.
But yeah, no, it was. We were together for almost 9 years. Well, 9 years, almost going into 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, for the benefit of our viewers who may not know the background of this story, could you just share with us right from the beginning how
We got enough time, bro, because
yeah, plenty.
oh man, I'm gonna give you a brief introduction. So, um, I was in a relationship for 9 years, and the relationship ended, and within a short time, my partner had moved on. We have a child. A series of events had happened, which led us to arguing and fighting with one another. Led us to court. We've been going through the court process now for, I think, almost 2 years now. And it's been messy, very public. There's been a lot of deceit, a lot of lies. Dare I say it? I'm also starting to feel a bit of collusion. There's been collusion. There's been possible corruption. A lot of strange things have been happening, and it's been a very, very difficult experience. And yeah, it's tough. It's been tough. A lot of people know about it already. And to be honest with you, I'd love to give you more information than that, but even it makes me tired. It makes me so tired, and I just don't have the energy to go into all details of the history of what's happened. I think a lot of people know what's going on already. If you'd like to know more, you can always go to my Instagram, Joey Gaz, and if you Google Joey G Malaysia, you'll find a lot of stuff because a lot of people have been talking, a lot of media have been sharing stuff. So yeah, at the current situation is that I'm having this ongoing custody battle. It's a very public battle, and the situation is getting worse. It's not resolving. It's not getting better. The situation now. What's the date today? Where are we? We're the 29th of November, 2020. And I can say that I believe that the situation we are in now is no longer about custody. The situation that I'm in now is gone beyond custody. For me, it's still about custody. I'm focused on one thing. I'm focused on being able to have a relationship with my daughter. And that's the only fight that I'm doing at the moment. That's the only fight I really, truly care about. There are other issues that will be addressed further down the line, But for me, for the meantime, I'm only just focusing on trying to be able to have a relationship with my daughter. However, on their side have gone beyond the realm of custody. Their side have taken it to personal levels. Their side are attacking left, right, and center, trying to get me deported from Malaysia, trying to get me put in prison, trying to ruin my reputation with potential clients so that I can't make any money. Spewing out a lot of false accusations, which is, I mean, I would hope to think that people are smart enough to know what is true and what isn't. And, it's ruining my reputation. But I'm okay about it because you know why? Because the thing is that reputations, what's a reputation? I care. I don't care about my reputation. I don't care what the person on the street thinks about me, whether they know the truth or whether they don't know. I don't care. The people I care about are my family, my friends, and my daughter, and that's it, And so, but it's a very, very messy situation right now. Very, very messy.
Yeah. So I was searching online and just trying to figure out the exact timeline of how this happened, and then it seems that Hype Malaysia has like one of the the most
Hype Malaysia have been spinning the story on this like crazy. I think Hype Malaysia believe that this is newsworthy, so they are really putting out. And it's funny that you mentioned Hype Malaysia because I just mentioned Hype Malaysia in one of my posts on social media just now. Hype Malaysia. Okay, let me tell you what actually happened. Somebody set up an email called "The Truth About Joey G." Hang on, let me get some. Okay, here we go. So somebody set up an email called "The Truth About Joey G," an anonymous email. Here's the email here. Within this email are a bunch of false allegations about me, okay? In the bottom of the email, there are 3 folders. Inside those folders are audio recordings of Patricia with my stepmother, screenshots of Patricia and me, screenshots of Patricia and my sister, and screenshots of Patricia and my stepmother. Now, look, let's look how many there is. Look at this. Okay? Now, Hype Malaysia ran this story, and they actually posted everything that was sent in the email, barring some of the messages and such. Well, today, one of the things that they had stated in their story was about my previous maid, my helper. And supposedly there was a testimonial written about me saying that the reason that my helper had left is because I was violent and I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. I don't even care to read it, to be honest, because it's rubbish. But today, I actually totally forgot about the conversations that I was having with my helper during the time when she was leaving. And I always knew why she left. It wasn't because of me. And then I was like, oh my God, I got these messages. And I just posted them up today. And the reason why I posted them up today is because I wanted to say to Hype, I said, Hype, Hype, you ran this story. You put this out there. You put this information out there. You even put out the testimonial. And it's not even true. And if anyone's listening or watching, they want to know what I'm talking about, head on over to my Instagram and check out my story. It's all there right now. So yeah, Hype has been, I don't know, stirring the pot, I believe. I believe they've been stirring the pot. And not only just Hype, but a lot of the media have. But Hype has been doing the bulk of it. But, I don't know, are they giving a fair view of what's been going on, or a biased view? I don't know. That's left for interpretation. Do I care about it? Yeah, it hurt me, it upset me. You know, of course, I'm a human being and we care when we read nasty things about us that aren't even true, right? So, but knowing the truth, it's also easy to brush off because it's also like, whatever, you know, run this story, it's fine. And, you know, at some point, whatever was written in that story and that story being posted, that's actually defamation towards me. And whomever writ this email, the truth about Joey G, who had audio recordings, screenshots of messages between my sister and Patricia, my stepmother and Patricia, me and Patricia, and audio recordings, voice note recordings of a conversation between my stepmother and Patricia. Where would those have come from? Where would somebody get 100 screenshots and audio recordings from a device? Whose device? Right? So I think we know where that email came from. Although they hide behind it being anonymous, the truth about Joey G, we know where it came from. It's okay. That's going to be addressed down the line because right now my focus is my daughter.
Yep.
And
yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, before we move further, I guess to give more context to what we are talking about, I'll share the news headlines from Hype Malaysia.
Please do. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Sure.
And also on the technical side of things, do you happen to have earphones? Because I think our audience is getting a bit of feedback.
Really? Yeah, I do. Oh.
Yeah, this is where it all began with Hype.
Look at that.
Yeah. Headlines, yeah.
Oh man, I miss my daughter so much.
Yeah. I mean, how long have you both been separated?
I haven't seen her since the 29th of September 2019. That was the last time I saw her, and that was the last time I spoke to her. And the reason that I haven't seen my daughter is because I told off Patricia's boyfriend for inappropriately handling my daughter when I'm there to pick up my daughter. I mean, to be honest with you, I believe it was a tactic because the way they did things, it was almost tactical, you know, strategic, because he was there before. I got no problem with the guy being there. It's all right, you want to be here, no problem at all. But on the last couple of times I went to see my daughter, I'm going to pick up my daughter from him, and my daughter's sitting on his lap, and he's kissing my daughter. And then when I send my daughter back, I send my daughter to Patricia. Patricia passes my daughter straight to him. He picks up my daughter and starts kissing and cuddling her in front of me. And it's a very sensitive situation, you know. I mean, how can you do that? And you can't. I'm a father. To me, you're a stranger, and this situation is sensitive. If you want to be here, be here. But who the hell are you to be kissing my child and caressing my child and cuddling my child in front of me, knowing that I've got to turn my back and get in my car and drive away and wait 1 week before I see my daughter again? I mean, that's the last memory I have when I dropped off my daughter, is that seeing this guy smooth all over my daughter in front of me. And so the last time I did, I said to myself, when I go there again, if he's doing it again, I'm going to say something to him. Sure enough, I went there the next time, he was doing it again. So I jumped out of the car, approached him, told him, what's his problem, blah, blah, blah. He tried to walk away. I tapped him on the shoulder, so he turned round. We exchanged words. There was no shouting, there was no screaming, there was no aggression, there was nothing. It was just me as a concerned father telling him, do not do that. I am her father. You are a stranger. I'm here to see the mother, to get my child. You're going to respect me as a father. I don't want you kissing my child in front of me, okay? You don't do that. If you want to do that when I walk away and you go up to your house and you want to give my daughter all the care and love you want, that's fine, that's great. But this is a very sensitive situation, so you shouldn't do that in front of me. And the funny part of that is, I didn't even speak to Patricia, you know, it was all to the boyfriend. So anyway, that happened, and then me and my daughter, we left. We went and had a great day, spent the day together, went swimming, did a bunch of stuff, and it was all good. And I sent her back. When I sent back, they picked her up. Everything was okay, it was fine. And then when I sent the notifications to see her again, They were ignoring me. They went silent. And then I got called to the police station. And when I got called to the police station, I was interrogated for supposedly going to their house, physically assaulting the boyfriend, physically assaulting Patricia, attacking them both, threatening them all, and doing all of this while my daughter was in my arm. And both Patricia and him both made same police reports. But let me tell you what happened. They claimed that they had a video footage of what happened. So the IO told me, Joey, Patricia and her boyfriend are going to be providing us with video evidence of what happened on that day. I was like, great, perfect. We're going to find out what happened. Sure enough, within a few days, I get a phone call from the IO. Okay, Joey, just to let you know, we're not taking any further action. I say, oh, okay, why is that? Because we've seen the video footage, and in fact, everything they've written in their statement does not show in the video footage. So we're not taking any further action on this. However, her lawyers have used that as an excuse to deny me my legal right to see my daughter ever since. And yeah, it's just been back and forth. And yeah, I haven't seen it. And there were some issues. In June, I ran out of money. And this year, it's COVID. I worked 2 days in this whole year. The last time I worked 2 days, I was in school. I was in primary school or something, And yeah, so it's been a tough year. All my money's gone out on legal fees, and ran out of money, so I didn't have the funds to be able to file contempt of court, because the funds that I did have had to go towards the Court of Appeal and so on. And then we lost at the Court of Appeal. Well, actually, what they don't know is that, what people don't know is that actually 3 weeks before the Court of Appeal, we filed an application to the court for contempt of court. We did it. My lawyer actually got everything together and we made the application. Everything was submitted to the court. And we were waiting for a date to come. And they didn't know that because we were doing what you call ex parte. And sure enough, the date of the appeal hearing came, and the appeal court overturned the High Court's decision, which made my old court order redundant, which meant that I had no grounds to now continue my contempt of court case. So we had to withdraw. That became academic or something. We had to withdraw from the court that. And then we got a new court order from the Court of Appeal that was issued on June 17, if I'm not mistaken. And in that court order, she got full custody, guardianship, care and control, and I got access and visitation by way of notification. And that was on June 17th. And we're now in November 29th. I still haven't seen or spoke to my daughter. I've been sending notifications every day. I was sending notifications to her lawyer. Her lawyers blocked me on all forms of communication. She's had me blocked. Actually, she's had me blocked for 1 year plus, over 1 year now. I haven't seen her for over 1 year. I'm talking about Patricia now, yeah? I haven't seen her for over 1 year. I haven't even spoke to her for over 1 year. The last time I spoke to her was on that day, was on the day that I dropped off Sophia, 29th of September. And a lot of strange things has happened since then. Actually, they've made allegations. They went and made a police report and made allegations that I've been harassing them every day. That I've harassed them, I harassed their family, I harassed their guests going to their house, I harassed her boyfriend. And there was something that came up. Actually, I don't even know if I want to go into this, but actually, they're trying to get me put in prison. Yeah, they're trying to get me put in prison. Listen, I can own up to anything that I did. I got nothing to hide. Anything that I did that I felt was wrong, I can own up to it, address it, and make myself a better person. I got no problem with that. What I did do was this. Now, I got a criminal case going on. People might not know this. It came out in the paper. Actually, this was all set up. Let me explain everything to you. So, after we filed our application to the federal court to appeal what happened at the Court of Appeal, I get a phone call from the police station. Get asked to come into the police station. I get to the police station. The police confiscate my phone. Then they say to me, oh, you threatened Patricia, blah, blah, blah. You sent an email in May of 2018 threatening to beat up her boyfriend. And yeah, we're going to arrest you for that. So I got arrested. I got brought to court. Her lawyers were trying to get the public prosecutor to deny me bail. Let's keep in mind, this is an email from 2018 that I sent. And let me explain how I sent it. On that particular night, I think it was May 19th, it would have been a weekend or something, because I remember I was at Elysium, I was at a club. You know, the wounds are still fresh. She's telling me she don't have a boyfriend. We're still communicating, everything's cool. She's telling me she don't have a boyfriend. I'm at Elysium, someone comes up to me and says, Joey, I saw Patricia, man, she's with this guy, a tall guy and all over and blah, 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 blah. And I was, it was an emotional time. I was, I had a few drinks and because I don't really drink much. And when I do drink, just a few beers and I'm already a bit sort of, not in my right frame of mind to do things sensible, And when I found that out, I got emotional and I sent an email. The next day, I sent an email saying sorry, practically, saying that it was the alcohol speaking that night. And that was it, over and done with. Me and Patricia were cool. That was May 19th. And then on May 30th, I went to London, or May 30th, or I think somewhere in between May there, I went to Thailand for a couple of days with Sophia. And then at the end of May, me and Sophia went to London for 5 weeks. And that was it. That was all that and done, forgotten about. But as it turns out in August, imagine this, I'll tell you a story. I'm gonna be, so I went to Rawa Island for my birthday. Yeah, I was taken down there by my stepmother and my sister's boyfriend and my brother and so on. And they brought me down there as a trip because they know what I've been going through and I needed to get out of the city. So I went down to Rawa Island, had this beautiful time there. Alang's Rawa. If you've never been, go check it out. So it's heaven on earth, literally. And had this wonderful time there. It was amazing, best time ever. Great bunch of people, old friends, some people I hadn't seen for years. We did amazing things, diving into blue sea, fishing and all this stuff. Anyway, so the night I got back to KL, I get a phone call from the police asking me to come to the police station. I said, I couldn't come, I'll come the next day. So the next day I went to the police station and I got arrested, which was such a weird thing. And when I got arrested and got locked up and I'm sitting in court jails, just the day before I was in like a white sand beach, blue water, And anyway, so we went into the courtroom and so on, and they're now alleging that I have been harassing Patricia, her boyfriend, her mum, and her friends, and that I have been intimidating them. And they asked the court to refuse me bail. They tried to get me put on remand, locked up. This was a tactic because what they got is the judge then told them, we'll give Joey bail, but we'll give him bail on the condition that he's not allowed to go anywhere near Patricia. He's not allowed to go near the mother or Patricia's family. He's not allowed to contact them or anything. Now, you see the problem with that? Now what's happened is I've got a court order that says I'm to contact Patricia and notify her when I want to visit my daughter. They got me arrested for an email I sent in 2018. I was arrested in August 2020, more than 2 years later, okay? A month after I filed my application to the Court of Appeal. And the bail condition says, they lied. I say this. Now, they want to try and come at me for defamation. You are liars, okay? You're a liar. I haven't even seen Patricia for 1 year. I haven't spoke to her for 1 year. I've been blocked on all forms of communication. How in the world can I possibly, at all, intimidate them, harass them, when I can't even communicate with them? But this is what they told the court. In order for the court to say, Joey, we'll give you bail, but you're not allowed to contact Patricia, you're not allowed to go anywhere near their house. If you do, you'll be put on remand. Now, I'm not sure if people know this. That's just happened to me recently. Then, so the situation now is that. So I've got that criminal case. This is what, see, when I said earlier about the show that this has gone beyond a custody battle now. Mm-hmm. It's gone beyond the custody battle. It's now at a point where it is, let's ruin Joey at every cost. Anything we can possibly do to him, to have him removed from Sophia's life, let's do it. And that's what's happening. But here's the thing, okay? My fight is one fight. My fight is to see my daughter. I'm not even Baba, fine. You fight with me. I'm all right with that. But my focus is my daughter. I just want to have a communication with my daughter. It's not even about Patricia anymore. But the situation that I'm finding myself in constantly is that side is constantly playing a victim. That side is constantly putting out lies, false allegations, defamatory statements, which I will address later. And who knows, when I get back my daughter, if everything's cool, maybe I'll just move on. But I'm not a fool. And I have been preparing everything, So, I mean, it's tough, bro. And they've gone after my lawyer. They went after my lawyer. They've gone after me in more ways than just a custody battle. And they keep coming. And you know what? It's fine. You do what you need to do. I'll fight the good fight. Whatever you want to do to me is fine. Because at the end of the day, my legacy is this, okay? All I'm doing is trying to be with my daughter. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to have a relationship with my daughter. Now, whatever I go through is fine. It's fine. I can handle it. I'm a grown man. I'm a big boy. I've had a good life. If I have to go through shit, it's okay. It balances life out. It's all right. But my legacy is that I have committed my entire life, my savings, my energy, everything is just trying to get to see my daughter. And that's my legacy. Their legacy, on the other hand, will be very different. And the silly thing about what's happening now, which I don't understand, don't people think of the future? Like, don't you think of 10 years from now? Because my daughter isn't going to remain a baby forever. My daughter isn't going to stay in your house with your boyfriend forever. One day my daughter's going to have her own mind. We live in a world where all the kids know technology. One day my daughter's going to have a phone. One day my daughter's going to have an iPad. She's going to search, going to find stuff. How are you going to explain then? Now, she might tell her version of the events, and that's fine. Say what you want. But just remember, when Sophia comes and sees me, I've got over 4,000 documents that she can read and go through everything and all the evidence. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is that how can a person not think?
Okay, it seems that we got disconnected from Joey. So just to share a bit more background with all of you, this is the story in Hype Malaysia.
Hey, we're back.
Okay. Yep, we're back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So as I was saying, how can a person not think about that? How can a person not? You're so focused on the now, and I must win, and this, and I must have Sophia, and I want Sophia to be here, and this is my family, and screw Joey, and no. I'm doing this. It's the best interest for Sophia. How is that in the best interest for Sophia? When Sophia grows up, let's just say she's successful in keeping my daughter away from me, and when my daughter grows up later and finds out, hang on, my father's a good man. My father's family, a good family. Oh my God, I have this amazing family that my mum cut me off from. And actually, my mum has said all this stuff about my dad when all my dad is doing every single day is trying to be with her. Now, you have to be a very selfish person to not think about that. Even me, like, I've been selfish. I have been selfish. Do you know what I've been selfish about? By getting into public fights. Because you know why? Whatever we've put out there, whatever we've said, whatever we've shown to be a defense is out on the internet. And you know what? Someday that's going to come back on both me and Patricia. Okay? Now, I understand that. But them, they just prolong it. They think they're doing what they're doing is good for Sophia. And I think that it's not. Because I think that what's going to happen is that Sophia's going to rebel later on in life. She's going to find out what's happened. She's gonna realize that things weren't what she thought they were, and that makes me sad for her, you know. And I just don't understand how it's like, are you really doing what's good for your child? Because it doesn't seem like it. You know, you're really doing what's good for you. Because let me say this, okay? If there's people on here that have been watching from the very beginning, what have I been saying? I was threatened that she is going to replace me with her boyfriend. I've been saying that all this while. I have always been saying that this was the reason. She kept saying, I'm going to replace you. My boyfriend's going to be her father figure. You are out of the picture. Sophia will be raised by him, and so on. 2 years later, look, people, where is my daughter? Over there. Do you notice on their posts a lot of the time, my daughter's mainly with him. My daughter's always at the table with him, always at the couch with him, always in the bed with him. So now you see, was I lying there when I told you that these threats have been made to me? Was I lying? Because she's done it. And you know what? Well done. Congratulations to you. But sorry, bro. I mean, this is an emotional thing, you know. It's damn emotional, you know. Yep. And it's tough.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah. I think as I share more of the background behind your story, do try to plug in the earphones.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's what I was doing, right?
Yep.
Okay, you have to excuse me. We'll get the headphones on. These are big ones. They look a bit weird.
Yep.
Okay, let me get the headphones in. Okay, can you say something? Can I hear you?
Yep.
All right, there we go. Yeah, I can hear you.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I see that the coverage really started around 2018. You know, how would you have described your relationship with Patricia before all of this happened? How did it get so bad? I mean, because I understand that through reading your stories and your sharing, you know, you were the person who was there for her, to support her, to build up her career. But during that period of time when you all got together and you were supporting her, you know, what went wrong, or what started going wrong? What would you say?
Look, this is what wrong. Okay, I'm not an angel. I can tell you that. What happened was, when me and Patricia got together, I was insecure. She was insecure. We were very insecure. I was a bit unstable due to some issues that I'd been through and with another experience. And when I first met Patricia, I was jealous. I was a jealous person. I was. Patricia was, you know, she's beautiful, you know. And I was a jealous person. And of course, being a jealous thing, it's toxic, you know. It's a toxic thing. And this is what I've learned. And this is, you know, and this is, I'll tell you something that my mum always says. And my mum would always say to me, Joey, you know, jealousy is the root cause of breakup of all the relationships. Jealousy is the poison in the relationship. If you're going to be jealous, your relationship ain't going to go nowhere. So actually, I believe initially jealousy was a problem. And, you know, we had a lot of arguments and stuff. And I take the blame for that. I was a jealous person, yeah. I take full responsibility for that, you know. And, but I changed. I got better, you know. My mum told me, and I realized that when I'm, you know, here's the thing. I used to go out everywhere with Patricia, and we go into some club or go somewhere, and you know, you see all the heads turn. You know, I'd walk behind her, and then all the dudes be like, you know, heads turning.
Yep.
And it was at that point that I realized to myself that, oh my God, if I'm gonna have a relationship with this woman, I'm gonna be with her for the long term. I need to learn to get rid of my jealousy, you know, because like, look at this is crazy. Everyone wants to speak to her, you know.
Yep.
And actually, by virtue of that, I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I got rid of my jealousy. But saying that, there was a series of things that happened throughout our relationship. And I think for me also, like, you know, there was some cheating stuff going on. And I was always a faithful guy, you know. And when you're a faithful guy and you're getting cheated on, it kind of creates a bit of, what's the word? I don't know what the correct word would be, but it kind of makes you a bit more sensitive to when you're being cheated on, because you're so faithful in this relationship and you're constantly getting cheated on. But then the problem, that's the thing, it was my own fault, because had I been a stronger person, I would have walked away when the time was right. But unfortunately for me, I wasn't in a strong place. I wasn't a strong person. I had lost all sense of self-worth, self-esteem. And I thought that, you know, that's the best relationship I'm going to have. But look, I'm talking negative now, yeah? You got to realize something, okay? We were together every single day for almost 9 years. 80%, 85%, dare I say it, even 90% of our relationship was great.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame. It's such a shame that she just wants to focus on things that supposedly happened. Because the way she tells the stories is she takes some real life, she takes a real life situation, something that happened, but then adds in all this stuff that didn't happen. So the situation was real, but the content of the situation is false. And there's been a lot of great times. I had a lot of great times. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, you know, here's the thing. We always speak about all the bad stuff. And I'll tell you what I did like about her. I liked her determination. I liked that she was fast to learn stuff. I liked that she had a lot of drive. She was a go-getter. I liked that she's very talented. She's very talented with learning stuff, creativity. She's funny. We had our own laughs. We had our own time. We had fun. So look, the reason why I'm saying this is because obviously I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone for 9 years, and it's hell for 9 years. And I'm dumb enough to be in a relationship when it's going bad, but not dumb enough to be in a relationship for 9 years of hell, you know? And over that period of 9 years, there was a couple of very, very, very heated, I would say, aggressive arguments. Okay? That's what it was. Aggressive arguments. And over that period of that time, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 really big major incidents of aggressive arguing. It's very different from abuse, very different from psychological, physical, or verbal abuse, but aggressive arguing, yes. It was toxic, I think, because someone said it to me the other day, actually, and I think the correct term to use is that it was a toxic relationship, because she's a Leo, I'm a Leo, and if you believe in astrology, she's a fire, I'm a fire, you know, and I never believed in all that stuff, but maybe there was some truth to it, because the problem with me and her is when we got into an argument, I would argue passionately and she would argue passionately. And when you get two people arguing passionately, it creates for a very loud situation, you know? So look, there was a lot, as I said, it was, you know, it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad. It was 20% bad, 80% great. We had some great times and a lot of great things.
I think what tends to happen is within relationships, because it's the good times that really creates a contrast to the bad times. You know, the more good times that you have creates this backdrop, but then when something bad comes in, then it's even more intense. The experience is even more intense, and then, you know, what we realize is that in very passionate relationships with very passionate people, that's what tends to happen. And then I think, seeing from, you know, the brief snapshots of the conversations that you share, you know, I can see that, you know, you're constantly trying to also get your point across, right, to her. And then even though when she says, "Oh, you know, I can't take it," but you know, you just want to get your point across.
That's the thing with me. That's the thing with me, is that when I got a point, I will make sure someone understands my point. You know, and that's a problem. And that's what I mean when I can talk about something and I can be very passionate about what I'm talking about. But here's the thing, okay? There was great times, there was bad times. But the picture of what has been painted of our relationship now and the role that she has taken has tainted everything, because it's not the real picture of our relationship. And it's a shame. And, you know, for everything she says that I did bad, supposedly, allegedly, she never speaks about the million things I did that are great for her. The selfless acts, the selfless acts of goodness that I gave to her. And I'm not even going to go into it because I'm not even about that, because I did it because, you know why? I loved her at the time, and I did those things out of love. When you do something out of love, you don't really need anything back from it, you know what I mean? So, but there were violence. There were violence in our arguments. Like I have had some bad marks on my body, which I want to bring this conversation to that, which is about violence towards men, because I think that's a very important topic right now. Even more, that's probably even more important than the topic we're talking about me and Patricia, actually, because violence towards men is a big issue. And
you don't mind me bringing up the pictures that you shared?
Bro, I got pictures here. Bring up your pictures, please do. I've even got. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Jesus.
Yep.
That's not even everything. That's not even everything.
Yeah.
Here, look. I'll show you. All right, so we've got this. This was an incident that happened on March 21st, 2010. This was all on July 6, 2010. This was on May 30th, 2012. June 16th, 2012. Oh, that's sorry, that one's March 21st, 2010. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that. That and that. Look at that.
What's the story behind this one?
I don't know if I would even want to go into the story, to be honest with you. I'm not so keen to go into the story of it, but the marks are there. Everything is there. Now, the defense from their side is that I made all these marks. These are self-inflicted marks. Jesus Christ. Self-inflicted marks from 2010. Right, okay. These things have happened. And here's the thing. Now, have I ever called myself a victim of abuse? Only recently I have. And the reason why I don't call myself a victim is because of the way society grooms us men, okay? And what I mean by that is this. Society grooms us men. We are taught from a very young age that we should never hit a woman, okay? You never hit a woman. And if a woman hits you, you don't react. That's the way I've been raised. That's the way my friends, my families, everyone has been raised that way, okay? That I know in my world. So when these things were happening to me, I didn't see myself as a victim of abuse. I saw myself being a man, taking it and keeping quiet. Now, if I saw myself as a victim of abuse, what I would have done is gone and made a police report. And then by virtue of making a police report, you go to the medical examiner, they do a checkup, and then they take an official logging of your injuries. And that's something that you can later use. However, me, on the other hand, I mean, there was more incidents than this, but these were the most serious ones. And these were the ones that friends and family saw and they were like, Joey, Jesus Christ, like, you need to take pictures of this, man. How, like, look at your body. Look at you. Look at you, Joey. You know, if anything's ever said about you, how you know, look at what you've got. How can you not take pictures of this? in your defense if anything ever happens. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you know what? I'll take pictures. They are quite serious, you know what? And do you know what the funny thing is? A lot of the times when I took the pictures so I could properly look at them because I couldn't see properly, you know? I was like, okay, so I took a picture to see and I was like, oh, bloody hell, that does look really bad. And I will share one incident though, okay? There was a time when I was driving down Jalan Tun Razak. This one I don't have a photo of it. I was driving down Jalan Tun Razak. My ex is sitting beside me. My daughter's sitting in the back of the car. I'm doing about 60 or 70 kilometers down the highway, down Jalan Tun Razak. And me and Patricia, we're talking about something. And I said something she didn't like. She punched me straight into the face while I was driving.
Wow.
While I'm driving. Bam! Straight in the face. And my daughter's sitting in the back. And my daughter saw that. My daughter saw it. And do you know what happened after that? My daughter kept coming up to me, hitting me in the face. And do you know what I had to do? I had to teach my daughter. I had to teach her. I said, Sophia, no, don't hit daddy. You be soft with daddy. You give daddy love, okay? Be soft with daddy. And that's one that I will go into. Here's the thing. Actually, here I have all the incidences, because what happened was when these happened, I took the photos and I writ what happened that day. And actually, I compiled it all here and it's there. I ain't going to go into it because I might need to use this as evidence at some point. So we will exclude that. But here's the thing, okay? The way everything is set up right now, or the way society is now. Look, let's take Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Now, I'm very reluctant to talk about anybody else's problems because I don't know the facts of their case, and I feel it's wrong for me to say too much. But I think what we can say is that society instantly believes that when a relationship of a man and a woman there is aggression, they will instantly believe that the man is the perpetrator of all the aggression and the abuse on a woman. And I'm probably sure most cases that is the case. And there are a lot of women that do suffer terrible, terrible abuse. I know some. And I know some who've been through it. And I've seen it with my own eyes. And it's a horrible, horrible, horrible thing. So I feel the women out there that are really in that situation. But sometimes the man is, as I say, the victim. Although we don't consider ourselves a victim. It's also taboo. I don't know, the way I'm wired is it's taboo for me to say that I'm a victim of abuse or for me to talk about it. Like, here's the thing. People will say, well, why didn't you make a police report? If those marks were true and it did happen as you say, why didn't you go make a police report? Well, my answer to that is, you tell me what man goes and makes a police report on his girlfriend. I'm 40 years old. I've never heard of that in my life. I know a lot of men. I know a lot of people. Which man gets into an argument with their girlfriend, receives some sort of marking on the body as a result of physical abuse, and which man goes to the police station and files a police report against their partner? None. If there is, hats off to you, because you know what? In my world, we don't do that. In my world, we take a photo of it, heal, and actually, do you know what? Do you know what I want to do right now? Actually, I want to apologize to Samsung. Because there was a time where I was supposed to host a Samsung event and I had to cancel them at the last minute. And the reason I had to cancel on them was because of this. Because I couldn't turn up and host a Samsung event with all this on my face. So I actually had to tell them something happened and cancel the event. So Samsung, I apologize. Now you know why I didn't turn up for your event, because they've never worked with me again since then. But the thing is that you've got a lot of women who are playing victim. And the thing is this, when women are playing victim, they're taking away the real light, the real attention on the real survivors of abuse. Okay? Now, abuse comes in all levels, right? Physical, verbal, emotional, mental, financial, and so on. And the thing that gets me is this. How can someone sit there and claim to be a survivor and a victim and have gone through hell and gone through this and gone through that and blah, 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 when they themselves are the abuser? And I believe it's a defense mechanism. I believe it's a defense mechanism for a person to quickly deflect the light on themselves onto the person they want to put under the spotlight. And I think it's a terrible thing to do. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to do, because you take away the spotlight from the real women who are suffering. You tarnish the reputation of another person when you know the truth. Come on, you and I know, okay? And it's a terrible thing. And here's what I don't get as well, which I will say about her. She's 2 years into her new relationship, right? So she's been with this guy 2 years now. Doesn't he care? Doesn't he care that his girlfriend of 2 years is still posting up rubbish about me, trying to make me look bad, trying to tarnish me, and then putting me in a situation where I've got to come out with facts and then put those out on social media, and then they're out in the space and they're about his girlfriend? Jesus, man. 2 years down the line, how could, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And, you know, the reason why I'm saying that, because I was just attacked just a few days ago, which has started up a whole issue. That's why I said it's been a crazy week.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, going back to the violence against men, as I said, women, there are some women who show aggression and violence towards men. And I don't know about other men, but for me and in my world, I'm taught to never hit back a woman. If a woman hits you, you don't hit her back, and you never hit a woman. You don't beat up a woman. You never hit a woman. That was the way I was raised. And sorry, you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, did you at any point in time during the relationship when this physical retaliation or violence started, that you felt that, you know, it's normal as men, we just take it and then we move on because you, I guess, in a way, you cherish the relationship, the woman that you love?
Yeah, well, that's the way that I was wired. So, I mean, now I understand it. It's wrong, you know what I mean? Because, like, to be honest with you, if I was wired a little bit differently, the minute someone done that to me, I'm out the door straight away. You don't look back. That's who I am now, and I should have been that person back then. But so I'm a little bit lost. What was the question again?
Yeah.
My mind is like.
yeah. So I mean, given that, you know, what I notice is that, you know, it's very, very easy, I guess, in the framework that us men work in. It's, you know, it's you take the hits.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing. Remember all of these? Does anybody up until I put these out, did anybody know about that? Nobody. Couple of close friends, my family, my mum knew. Nobody knew about it because I'm not proud of that. I'm not going to go out and say that this is happening to me. I'm not proud to paint my partner like that. Because at the end of the day, I still love that person. I'm going back home to that person. So why am I going to go out and start spreading, oh, this is what's happened to me at home, or blah, 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 or I'm going to go make a police report? No. You took time. You dealt with it. The injuries healed. The scars healed. The emotions healed. And you tried to make it work. And for some reason, you stay in it. And you stay in it hoping that it will get better, and that it's not going to happen again. But, you know, certain things happen again, and you know, it's just out of your control. It's just
When did this first start? Was it in the first year, second year, third year?
No, we started having heated arguments immediately, straight off the bat, actually. And at that point, I should have. There were some really strange incidences at the beginning, actually, and then I should have realized then. She should have realized then. I should have realized then, and we should have both just gone our separate ways and could be leading different lives right now, you know. But unfortunately, we didn't, and we obviously stayed together. And you know, someone sent a message the other day and said that they said, Joey, I think you and Patricia are equal towards each other in terms of she's saying you did this, you're saying she did this. The two of you are just as bad as each other. Neither of you are a victim. Your relationship was toxic. And you know what? I was like, actually, you know what? Yeah, there's some truth to that, you know? There is some truth to that. And then these things sort of happen throughout. And then there's been long periods of everything is sweet. And the problem is, when these things happen, they happen after a long gap of everything is perfect. Right? And then this happens, and a big fight happens, and then you're thinking, you're holding on to, oh my God, but everything's been so perfect. I've been so happy. We've been so good. I was starting to see the future. We're building something and blah, 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 blah. And that's what makes you become accepting of these things, because you're like, okay, well, you know what? I can get over this, you know, because you weigh up the good and the bad. And sometimes you start to weigh, okay, well, this is the bad, this is the good, and how's it weighing on the scales? Okay, well, the good outweighs the bad, so you deal with it, right? And
yeah, and I think it's very easy for an outsider who may not have experienced something like that to themselves to judge and question, to ask, you know, why are you staying in the relationship? But it's true what you say. You know, this tends to be a minority of incidents in the bigger picture, right? And then when you truly love a person, you really, especially when you have that vision of the future with that person, you really want to put your heart into it, you know. And I think with the kind of spirit that you have, you're a fighter, right? No matter what, for the one you love, you will go out there, take the heat, and you know, just come out.
You do everything you can to make it work, right? You know, I wouldn't say I'm a fighter. I would say that's the wrong term. I would say I'm not a quitter. And that actually, that's good and bad, you know, on certain things. Not being a quitter when you want to start a project and you're trying to start a business and whatever, that's a good thing. But not being a quitter in a relationship could potentially be a bad thing, because then you're not able to walk away when it's bad, because then you're staying in something that's toxic, that's not good for you, and it gets to the point where it's just total devastation, you know. Whereas, and if you didn't have this attitude of not being a quitter, you might have left a little bit sooner. You might have quit a little bit sooner, you know. So I believe that I believe the correct term for me is I'm not a quitter, and that's great in some things, and it was bad in a relationship. And I've learned from that. And for me, I've learned a lot. I've grown so much, and I've learned so much. And let me explain something to you. The reason why also that I was in the situation that I was in is that I've been in long relationships my whole entire life. I was with my ex for almost 9 years, almost 9 years plus or something. And then my previous relationship was for 7 years, and my relationship before that was 4 years, and my relationship before that was like 3 years. So I've been in this long relationship, and when I took the time to try to understand myself and learn about myself, I realized to myself that I was a needy person. I needed someone. I needed to be with someone. I couldn't be alone. I couldn't be by myself. I needed the support system of a girlfriend or a partner. I needed to have someone. But after this breakup, you know, I wanted to get rid of that, because that was partially why I also didn't walk away and why it didn't end sooner. Because if my mum was here, my mum would tell you the amount of times I'm on the phone to my mum saying, I want to get out of this. I want to walk away. I've had enough of this. I want to pack my stuff. I'm moving on. But I actually, you know, I didn't actually move on. I didn't actually do it. I didn't actually commit to that. And I put that down to being fearful of being alone, being fearful of not knowing what's going to happen next. What's your life going to be? You know, see, the thing is this. I don't know. I'm hoping that a lot of people can relate to this. When you've been sleeping in a bed next to someone for years and years and years, there comes a point where that's your comfort, right? And when that person's not in the bed sleeping with you, you can't sleep. And I had that, you know? And I was fearful of that. Like, oh my God, like, is that how life is afterwards when you're going to miss someone and you're going to... So I was scared to be alone. But when this breakup happened, I knew that I looked at what's the mistakes that's been happening. Why have these things been going on? What's the situation I'm in? And I assessed myself and I realized that I need to change that. That's what's wrong with me. Too dependent on being with someone and not being able to be by yourself. And since then, I've been by myself. And you know what? It's the best thing I could have done. And I'll tell you something, I wish I'd done it a lot sooner. Because, and I'll say this to anybody out there who's in a relationship, and if you're fearful of what lays beyond the future, and you're in a very crappy relationship, a toxic and abusive relationship, and you're fearful to get out of it because you don't know what the future holds, you're scared of being alone, you're scared of missing that person, you're scared of seeing that person with someone else, and so on, right? Time heals everything. Give yourself the time, go through the pain, because here's the thing, sometimes you can't live life everything being up. You have to experience the lows, because okay, let me give you an example. So here's life, here's normal life. When things are going great, you're up here. Now, if you've moved up from normal life and you've gone up here, everything is great. You look down, you don't remember this anymore. You don't remember the normal, you don't appreciate the normal, because everything is great, okay? But when you go down, everything is so bad, so bad, that when you actually get better and you come back up to being normal feels so much better than when you were feeling great. Because you learn to realize that being just normal is just superb. And the only way for you to appreciate that and understand that is for you to go to the lowest levels of your life. And here's the thing. People should be judged not on how great they were when they were great, but how good they were when they came back from adversity. You know, that's a test of true character. And so, you know, this is what you need to go through. And I'm hoping, you know, maybe it might be different for some people. Some people might have a different experience on that. But for me, you know, I believe it's good to go on the roller coaster of life, have your ups and have your downs, because it's the downs that make you appreciate the ups. If you're just constantly going up, you forget all that stuff. And I'm sorry about the hand movements.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
All we need is some music and some lights.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a saying that goes that you know, once the lesson is learned, then the pain disappears.
Yeah.
You know, when we fully learn our lesson and we embody it in our daily practice, not only understanding it from a theoretical standpoint, but that sense of knowing. It's like, I needed to know this. And then, you know, we all have those moments where we look at life and we say, if I only knew back then. Right?
If we only knew back then, like most definitely. Right? And you sometimes you have to go through the experiences to understand it. You learn from your lessons, and and it's cliche, but it's true, right? And I think, what was I wanted to say? It will come back to me. It was a topic that was in the back of my head there. And I wanted to get out. It will come back to me in a moment.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. 1 minute. I got to take a call. It's okay. 1 minute.
All right.
Hello. Hello. Are you here? Okay, I'm still on the call. Can you get them to? Can you get your way in, or can you get them to open the gate? Because I can't come down. I'm still doing a live interview. You're actually on the live interview now. Okay, bye. Sorry. What was I going to say? What was it? It was actually, I don't know. It'll come back to me. Oh, there we go. I won't hear you.
All right, yeah. So, I mean, I mean, it's great what you shared with us, and it's definitely something that I feel that more people need to be aware of. And what is it that made you decide to have a child together with her amidst this backdrop?
Okay. I'm a family man. I've always wanted, I love children. I've got so many nieces and nephews. And I treat them like they're my own kids. I love them to bits. I love kids, get on with them so well. I've always been a family man. I've always been searching for my own family. It's such a weird thing. And I've always wanted to have my own child. I always wanted to have my own child. And I'm going to share something now which nobody knows. Only Patricia knows this. And this is another thing as to why I can't understand she's doing what she's doing when she knows this as well. So we were trying to have a child for almost 7 years. And one day she said to me, Joey, I think you need to go get a fertility test because you've never got me pregnant and we've never had contraceptive. And it's now 6 years. I was like, oh my God, okay. So you're not taking the pill? No. Oh my God. All right. So I went and did a fertility test, and the fertility test came back very bad. It said that I only have a 6% chance of conceiving naturally. 94% of my sperm is no good. So yeah, so I went to the doctors. We did some treatments, and I was taking some herbal medicines to replenish my sperm and all this type of stuff. And then we kind of gave up on the idea because you know what we said? Because when we went back to the doctors, I said, like, okay, so you're saying we got a 6% chance. So they said, look, you might not be able to conceive normally through normal means, but hang on, so you might not be able to conceive through normal means. Sorry, bro. Oh man, I gotta go in a minute. Okay, wait. 1 second, sorry.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, come in as a visitor first. Ask them to call my unit D416. I'll open up the thing and then we'll go down and sort it out afterwards. Sorry. And so yeah, I had a very bad. My fertility results came out, said that I've only got a 6% chance, and then we gave up about that. You know, I was taking these treatments for like 3 or 4 months, and then we gave up because the doctor said, look, you have a 6% chance, which means that you can do in vitro, or you know, you can do things to have a child, but you might not be able to have a child normally. So we gave up on the idea of wanting to have a child. And then you know, everything was great in our relationship. Everything was good. Life was good. Everything was perfect. And excuse me, I'm so sorry. 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute.
Yep. No problem. All right. So yeah, just to share a little bit, as Joey mentioned about the Johnny Depp case. Yeah, I mean, with what's going on with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, it's very, very easy to see that our society today is filled with cancel culture. And fortunately, we have brands like Dior who is standing up for people like Johnny Depp.
Wow.
Right?
Dior sticks by Johnny Depp in defiance of wife beater ruling. Thank you, Dior. You know, because some things are two-way. Some things are two-way. You don't know what actually happened there. And I haven't followed that story. I don't follow these type of stories. I don't know. I've only heard from what people have said or what's been on social media. And I heard that there was there's a recording of Amber Heard saying what she's done to Johnny Depp and so on. It's unfair. It's unfair that he'd be called a wife beater if she's beating him up, you know? And if they're both beating each other up, then 2 wrongs don't make a right, but they're both as bad as each other. They are an abusive couple. She's not the victim. He's not abuser, and she's not the victim. She's not an abuser, and he's the victim. They are both abusers, and they're abusing each other. And that's what you call a toxic relationship, right? Because I think an abusive relationship is where there is a victim and then there is an abuser. And the victim is belittled. and abused and put down and mentally abused, financially abused, physically abused. And that's a real situation. That is a real abuse. Anyone that's come out of that is a real survivor. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But when the physical abuse is worse from the person who is claiming to be the victim, when that's where the physical abuse is coming from the person who's claiming that they are the victim, that's when it's bad. Now, I just want to remind you one thing. I've gone through it, bro. I've gone through the town calling me all types of stuff. I've seen it, I've heard it, I've heard people talking about me, I've received messages from people going crazy at me, calling me all types of name under the sun because they listened to her story. But this is the thing, this is what I don't get. You believe her story, you listen to her story. I can tell you a story. I can tell you great stories. I can make up stories. I can research and find everything I need to know about this topic and tell you the best, saddest story there is. But I don't need to tell you the story. I need to show you pictures, right? Pictures, okay? Now, why does someone need to talk when they got pictures? Here's the thing. It's been said that I beat her up. I punched her in the face. Oh, let me tell you another one as well. It's been said that I tried to stab her with a knife. Imagine that. Imagine hearing that.
Mm.
And do you know what's even worse about that? I'll let you in on a little secret. I am a victim of a knife attack. I almost died. She knows that. And for her to now say that I tried to do that to her when I have PTSD, man. When I watch a movie and I see someone getting stabbed, okay, let me show you. I got stabbed here. See that? See that scar?
Oh.
See that?
Wow.
Stabbed there. You see that? Stab wound.
Yep.
Punctured my lung. I couldn't breathe. My lung collapsed. Air was coming out the side here. You see? I don't know if you can see where it's at. I don't know, I'm going to show you my bum in a minute. But on my leg, I got stabbed twice. I got stabbed here and I got stabbed here, punctured my lung, I almost died.
Wow.
Hospital, and I don't want to go into that. I was 13 years old at the time.
Wow.
Now to say that I am someone that can do that to someone else when I am a victim of that, and I can't, sometimes, I can't even, sometimes when you want to play fight and they're like, I tried to tickle you there, I used to always have to say, hey, please don't, not here. Yeah, you can touch me on this side, but not on this side because it feels. Sometimes if I watch a movie and there is knife attacks on a movie, this whole side of my body gets numb. And I get please turn it off. I can't. I have to look. And then I have to So to say that I tried to pull out a knife on her and tried to stab her or what? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And do you know what the funny thing is? I'll show you this as well, actually. See that? You see where those blue arrows are? I won't show you too much. Let me read it for you. Can you punch him in the throat for me? And the balls. I heard those are sensitive. That's my ex asking someone to inflict violence on me. And I got the message. Wait for it, yeah? You see that? That is a message from one of my clients telling me they received a threatening email from my ex, threatening them not to work with me or entertain me. And if they do, that she will no longer work with them. Okay? Let me show you some other stuff. I got so many. And I'm going to show you things that she doesn't even know that I have. And I hope she sees this because she might learn a lesson. This is messages that she has. This is chats that she has with her Instagram followers. That is the ex-husband of the mother of my godchildren. And she's having a conversation with one of her followers who went on to troll my friend, and they were sharing all this stuff. Okay? Let me tell you, let me read what it says here. Okay, let me read what, are you still there? Okay, still there. It says, okay, this is it. She says, I'm not going to take her down in that sense. I'm going for Joey, as it's him and I, but she will follow. What do you take from that? Does that sound like a victim of abuse to you? Does that sound like a survivor? Bro, it's right there. It's all right there. I'm not going to take her down in that. And she's talking about my friend Karina, by the way. I'm not going to, she's talking about Karina, the most loveliest woman there is. And she's saying, I'm not going to take her down in that sense. I'm going for Joey, as it's him and I, but she will follow. All right? Wait, look how many pages I've got, look. Look what she says about me. He's robbing people's money because I set up a funding page. Because I ran out of money, I had no more money. And the reason I set up a funding page, oh, actually, let me address that. Actually, I want to say thank you to everybody that has supported me, because you have enabled me to be able to continue my fight to go on to the federal court. We are proceeding. We've made our application. We're waiting for the Court of Appeal to release its judgment, and then we can go get the date from the federal court. So thank you all so much for supporting me and helping that happen. And the funding has taken care of that. And I mean, I'll address that later on, but I just wanted to briefly say that. So because I set up the funding page, she's now telling people that I'm robbing people's money. And then she makes reference to Karina again. Don't worry, she will get what's coming to her. This is a person who claims to be a survivor of abuse, a victim, an advocate for women. Karina was a victim of abuse. She suffered terribly. She's raising 2 boys by herself. She's a great mother. She's doing the best she can. She should be supporting her, not saying she will get what's coming to her. What is wrong here, right? Okay. Let me go on. Okay, wait, there was another one. What should we... I've got messages that she's had with people, that she's been having conversations with people. They send me everything. And she's told people that I have a medical condition, that I'm bipolar. And even my own family knows that I'm bipolar. Honestly, me, bipolar? Jesus. Funny. And, where is it? You know? She goes on to say that I throw kittens at a wall. She tells someone he throws kittens at walls and I kick dogs. Jesus. And it's okay, because you know why? The problem with this is that when she thinks she's having a conversation with someone, she feels comfortable because she doesn't think that those things are going to get back to me. She doesn't realize that actually I'm getting fed everything. And now you know. So come at me for defamation. I dare you. I dare you.
So,
bro, it goes on. I'm sorry. It goes on and on and on. Look. This is all her chats with her followers, defaming me, putting up stuff, saying that making threats that they're coming after me and Karina, and so on. Now, this is. So you're familiar, right? You see her page. You see everything she's doing. You see the victim role that she plays, right? That's your victim right there. There's more. There's so much more. And this is the thing. This is why, on my side, I'm like, my fight is for my daughter. All of this, bro, I can show you. Look on my bed. See all the papers there? See everything there? I've got papers all around me. I've got everything prepared, you know? And it's like, I've got stuff that she don't even know that I've got, which is her stuff. And I hope that she'll be a little bit smarter in what she does, because like,
Yep.
She needs, like, she can't be doing all of this. You know, this is defamation to the highest level. And I'm going to address this at some point. We're going to address all of this at some point. And this is the woman who claims to be a victim.
You mentioned that you're doing it for your daughter, and so previously before you left, you were talking about, okay, so you all gave up with trying to conceive. Then what happened?
So we gave up with trying to conceive, and we had a great period. Everything was good. We went on holiday. We wanted to start 2016 on a really nice note, and so we went to, was it 2016? I think, 2016. So we went to Boracay, and we went to Boracay. We had a holiday. We had the most fantastic time there, and everything was perfect. And we came back, and then within 3 weeks of coming back, we found out that she was pregnant. And the story from her side is she says that I forced her to have a baby. I don't know. I don't understand how a human being can force anybody to have a child. Like, the only way that you could force someone to have a child against their will is if you lock them down on a bed and you keep them there for like 9.5 months until the baby pops out. Then you force them to have a baby. But that's not what happened. Actually, what happened was that because of the situation of my fertility, we considered Sophia to be a miracle baby. And we weren't married, we weren't really ready financially, we weren't in a position to have a child at that time, but because of the fertility situation and because Sophia came when she did, we felt that it was a blessing, and we decided to go ahead with it, and that's what happened. And she kept the baby, and we went ahead and we had Sophia, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. I mean, I regret everything we're going through now, but my daughter is amazing. She's the most amazing little girl, and I don't say that just because she's my little girl. If she was someone else's little girl and I met her with the personality and who she is, and I would say the same about her if she was someone else's child. And she's just I believe she's a miracle baby. And we used to joke about it. I tell you, to make things light, a little bit funny. What we used to say is that I only have a 6% chance of conceiving. So that 6% was super sperm, right? So they were super strong, super whatever, the top of everything. So in order for that 6% to get there and to get into the egg, they would have to have been crazy, you know what I mean? So hence that's why my daughter is smart, and that's why she is what she is, and she's, because we say that sperm was a super sperm that got there, so she's a super child type of thing. That's the joke that we used to make about it. But,
yeah, it's like you got the creme de la creme.
Exactly, that's what creme de la creme. But no, I'll give her this much. I will say this: when she got pregnant, she quit smoking, she quit drinking, she quit everything. She started taking care of herself properly. She did a good job of making sure that Sophia, there would be no future complications by virtue of like smoking or drinking or this type of lifestyle or eating the wrong type of food. She that one, I got to give that to her. She did. She did well on that, and I applaud her for that.
Yep. So let me just hop into the comment section right now on Facebook.
We got comments,
yeah. So we've got from Karina Kildin.
Yeah, Karina, that's who I was talking about. That's Karina. Karina, what's up?
So she said, truth will prevail. They have done petty stuff that is irrelevant. And then she said, like I said, she won at appeals. She has all the power to be the bigger person and what is best for Sophia. And she says, big hug, Joey.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Karina. But actually, can I just say something here? Karina has been the biggest support to me. If anybody wants an example of what a friend should be, and even I need to learn from her. If anybody wants an example of what a friend should be, please look at Karina. She is a good friend, and I'm sure that the other friends she has will also say that. She's a great friend, and her situation in her life it's not easy. She's got a very tough life, and she does the best she can. She does the best she can, and I have nothing but admiration and respect for that woman. She is a real woman.
Thanks for sharing that. And so up next we have Tia Alyssa, who says, I've watched YouTube videos in a couple years back. Even Patricia said Joey is a family man.
I am a family man.
Yeah.
And on just that, let's remember something. On Father's Day, I think it was the first Father's Day. Yeah, it would have been the first Father's Day. Who remembers the video that Patricia made? This video, and at the end of the video, it says, "In Patricia made this video." She's took all the time to find all this footage and edit this video and put this music in and end the video with Sophia clearly has the best father in the world. So in a matter of months, I went from being the best father in the world to she's not letting me see my daughter because I'm going to ruin her childhood.
Yeah. So another commenter says, Jasmine Kairat says, could it be that she's bipolar? And
I don't know. I wouldn't. No, she's not. No, she's not bipolar. Yeah. She's not. Nah, she's not bipolar.
Okay. Amiral Samuel says, until today, Patricia has zero solid evidence and 99% manipulating. Yet she has the higher hand. How? Who? And why?
Well, that's because of the way society is set up, isn't it? It's because when a person comes out and screams foul play without showing any evidence, they believe it. Do you know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like the situation that's going on now. Trump. Look at Trump. Trump screaming for election fraud, election fraud, election fraud. He's got no evidence. But he's screaming it out of his mouth. And his supporters are believing him because they rally behind him. Whereas in me, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything unless I'm attacked. And when I'm attacked, I just put out facts to show that that's not true. You know? And I have no idea. Look, again, the way society is set up, that a man is going to take the brunt of it. When a woman cries foul play and violence and abuse and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, that's just the way. And that's the problem. That's the problem that we're facing. That's what needs to be changed, and that's what needs to be looked at. Because I think people should not be so quick to paint someone in a particular way based on words or based on documents that seem to be written by oneself. I mean, I just proved one of these supposed testimonials Patricia had. I just proved it. It's a load of rubbish. Go to my social media, you can see what I'm talking about. So I don't know.
I think it's very easy.
No, actually, no. I do know. How can I say I don't know? She's very great at telling a story. Very great. Have you listened to... Okay, she's got a podcast called The Pool. There's 8 or 7 episodes. 7 episodes. Each episode is between 30 to 45 minutes. That podcast is her telling her stories about supposedly what I've done to her. Again, no, everything, a lot of things she said on there, load of rubbish. She don't have evidence to back it up. And that's going to be a problem for her later on. Because we've recorded every episode of that podcast. Every word has been transcribed. And every defamatory statement has been time marked. And at some point, she's going to need to defend and prove everything she said in that. So, do I make noise about it being there? No, because I know it's bullshit. So let it be there for as long as possible. Because you know why? We're gonna address that at some point.
Yep. Yeah. And I think it's very easy to buy into a narrative, as you say, especially if a person is a very good storyteller.
Yeah.
And then if you're within an environment where it supports your narrative, or you have that halo effect where people buy into your story easily, then that's just how it works.
And I'll give you an example of what she does. She'll take like an incident, something that happened, right? So she tells some truth, but then piles on all this stuff, which is in favor of her narrative. I'll give you an example. Like, I was listening to the podcast here. I don't know, actually. You might be, can you hear? Oh, there we go. You can hear. Okay, let's have a listen. Where was it? Hang on. Do you know what? I don't want to go into it. You know what? Screw it. We don't need to do that. But let me explain to you. On one of the podcasts, she is explaining an incident that happened where she she slammed the door. She slammed the bedroom door in my daughter's face, and my daughter went flying. And the way she explains it there is that she says like, oh, I was going into the room and Joey was coming at me, and so I slammed the door, but actually Sophia was standing in front of the door and she went flying. Doesn't make sense. And then that's something she did. I was nowhere near the door. I was actually sitting on the couch. I wasn't even coming for her. I was watching TV. And I could see the door from where I'm sitting, and I saw Sophia running to the door, and she's walking, and she just slammed the door, and my daughter went flying. Now, what happened is I went there, Sophia, picked up Sophia, made sure Sophia's okay, went into the room, and I had a massive fight with her because of that. Huge fight with her over that. And I called her a terrible mum, I called her a bunch of stuff because I felt that I was well within my right to say these things based on the circumstances of incidents that were happening as a mother to her child. So she take that and situation and twist it. Another situation, Patricia, if you're gonna say stuff about me, at least get your dates right. At least get everything correct. I'll give you this advice because if you're gonna suffer later on. You know, if I want to take defamation on you, you're gonna suffer. Okay? I'll give you an example. She says on there, she tries to explain one incident. She says like, oh, there was one time I went to some event with Joey and blah, blah, blah. And then we were leaving the event. And then this is what she says. We were leaving the event and then the event organizer came up to me and asked me for my number. So I got out of the car and I was standing outside the car giving the event organizer my number because he wanted to book me for a future gig as a DJ. Now, that incident she was talking about, I had only known Patricia for 3 months. She wasn't even a DJ. She didn't even know how to DJ. She didn't know how to turn on a CDJ. She didn't know nothing about DJ. She wasn't a host. She wasn't a DJ. She was nothing. But the way she described that incident, saying it happened in the context of that guy, because we had an argument, because the argument was like, are you serious? I brought you here to this event with me. Some guy wants your number. You make me stop my car and you get out of my car to give this guy your number. Why are you giving this guy your number? What for? Now she explains it as in, oh, he wanted to book me to DJ. Bro, I only taught Patricia to DJ about 1.5 years, almost 2 years after being with her. This incident she was talking about was in the first 3 months of us being together. And do you know what the joke is? I can even prove it because I can pull up the invoice for that event. I can show the date. And actually, if I wanted to go one step further, the guy that took her number, I can call him and find out and get, you know? So it's silly. If you're gonna put stuff out about me, get your dates right. At least get the facts right yourself. Don't give me the weapons for defamation because I'm trying to help you here, Patricia. Be smarter than that.
So at what point did the both of you decide to split? How did it happen? How did you all just break up?
We split. Okay. It was leading up to a split, but there was an incident in Bali that happened that pushed over the edge. And okay, because what was happening is before we split, she was never home. I was always home alone, and that created a lot of tension between us, a lot of tension. And at that point, you've got to realize something. At that point in our relationship, after going through some of these things, you learn that you can't win a fight with this person. So what happens is that you don't even talk. You don't argue because you can't win. So we didn't even communicate. We don't even communicate. But when you don't communicate, you are slowly getting further and further and further and further away. And there was some other guy. She had this guy, a friend of hers called Fred. He's from Denmark, but he came and moved over here, got a house down the road from where we were living. And she would sometimes not come home and she'd be at his house and constantly with him. And I saw a video one day where she's got her hands on his crutch and so on. So we had an argument about that and blah, blah, blah. That was a few days before we went to Bali. And then we went to Bali. We patched up everything. We went to Bali. We're in Bali, having a great time. Fantastic. And then one day we're in the swimming pool, or she's in the swimming pool. And she's in there, and in the swimming pool, there's a deep end, and there's like a ledge. There's a shallow water with a ledge, and then it goes off into the deep end. And she's in the deep end, selfieing and all that stuff, and Sophia's there. And I'm outside, I'm like far from the pool. She's right next to Sophia. And she watched Sophia walk off the ledge and go under the water.
And this was in Bali.
This was in Bali. And my immediate reaction is, she's gonna do something about it. Okay, she's right there, she's gonna lift her up. She stood there and did nothing. She went like this. And I came running. I ran, jumped in the water, fucking got Sophia, fucking, sorry for my language, but pulled her out, you know? Do you know how infuriated I was? Because you know what? She would rather protect her phone than pull our daughter out of the water. Okay? Now, she claims that there was no drowning incident. There was no near drowning incident. That never happened. Again, what you claim verbally, when I've got the messages that prove it, we had a massive argument about it. Come on. So anyway, what happened was this. That happened. And so we were having this great time, and I didn't want to argue because, you know what, we're on a family holiday, everything is good. And so I decided to leave the villa for 15 minutes to go and cool off because, you know, here's the thing. If my daughter has died, if my daughter would have died of negligence, I don't know what I'm capable of at that time, you know? So I want to, when you see that pure negligence towards a child, you kind of, it kind of opens up something inside you that you need space straight away. You need to get out of there, you know, because that's something that I will go mental about, you know? So I did. I left the villa for like 15 minutes. In fact, I left the villa. I went to meet her dad. I went and met her dad, and because her dad was with us, and I went and met the dad and had a beer with the dad, and I explained to the dad what happened and blah, blah, blah. And he's telling me like, oh, actually, maybe she don't understand. And everything was cool and calm. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. Maybe not. All right, cool. Well, okay. So 15 minutes, we've gone back to the villa. When I get back to the villa, suddenly now there's this Indonesian woman there holding my daughter. I look around and say, okay. I said, well, where's Patricia? She says like, oh, ma'am left. Ma'am left to go to the beach. I said, well, who are you? Oh, I'm the nanny. So I'm like, you mean to tell me 15 minutes after our daughter almost drowns in the swimming pool, she's now booked a nanny and she's left our daughter alone with a stranger 15 minutes after there could have been a drowning incident if I hadn't reacted in the way that I did, like by running and getting her out. So again, now from being calm, I'm now back at like level 10 already because I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So again, we wait. Okay, she's gone. What I thought was the maid said to me, oh, she's gone to the beach. And I thought, okay, fine. She's gone to do what I did. I went to cool off. She went to cool off. All right, fine. 1 hour passed, 2 hour passed, 3 hour passed, 4 hour passed. About 5 hours passed, and she's nowhere to be seen, unheard, nothing. Then suddenly she comes back to the villa, and I'm like, where the hell have you been? Like, what are you, you didn't even tell us. Who's this woman? Why are you leaving Sophia here? After this incident, what's going on? Oh, I've been at Fred's villa. Now, do you remember I told you about Fred? Well, it turns out we went away on a family holiday, and Fred had come on a flight behind us. Or before, I don't know. But he had come. And guess what? He got a villa down the road from us, on the same road. Down the road. And where was she after this incident? At his villa, getting drunk. She came back all drunk. Now, sorry, one second.
No problem. Okay, so keep your comments coming in the comment section. We will get to it, especially if you're joining us on Facebook. If you're joining us on YouTube or even Twitch, feel free to drop in your comments. We will get to it. So do share with us your thoughts so far on what do you think about this entire situation. Share with us.
Bro, very sorry. I need to go downstairs very quickly. Are you right to hold the fort for 5 minutes while I go down?
Yep.
Yeah, is that all right? Because
I'm
I
good
know
to
we've been
hold the
going. This
fort.
is 2 hours now, man. Bloody hell.
Good. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll hold the fort for you.
Okay. Let me go down. I'll be.
Yep. Okay. So everybody, I will run through the timeline on the hype coverage behind this entire incident with Joey and Patricia. Of course, for me, there's always two sides of the story, and hopefully, if Patricia is listening to this, I am open to having you on the show to share your side of the story as well. And what I believe is that uh, everybody has their own experience of the situations, and but the facts remain, and what we hear out here, the truth tends to lie somewhere in between the narratives. So Patricia, if you're listening in, or if any of you know Patricia, do share with her that I'm open to having her on this show to share her side of the story as well. So let's get into the timeline of this whole drama, essentially. And again, this is from Hype Malaysia. So from what I see, their first coverage was back in 2018. Patricia calls out Joey G for bringing Sophia to UK without her consent. Then the next headline, she shares incidents of Joey G's abusive episodes. So these are the stories that she shared. And then on October 29th in 2018, Joey G accuses Patricia K for lying and manipulating the court system. And this is January last year in 2019. Patricia K's boyfriend breaks silence amidst the latest drama with Joey G. So this is where, let me just mute that. Yep. So this is where Patricia's boyfriend shares his version of the story. Yeah, it goes very long into it, but as I said, everybody has their side of the story to share. So I'm just being totally open and transparent to share as many sides and as many perspectives as we can. And then, of course, this was what you saw previously, where Joey G finally spoke out on June 19th, 2020, this year, the evidence of Patricia K's past abusive behavior. So he shares his story in this piece together with the picture evidence. Yep, this was a photo. And this was another piece. So as we see, there are many sides of the story. Today, the spotlight is on Joey G, listening to his side of the story. And yeah, do share with us your thoughts in the comment section. Have you personally experienced abuse in a relationship? And if you did, how did you overcome it, if at all? Right? Or if you know of anybody else's stories, do share with us, because I believe that these stories are very important to share, so that in order for all of us collectively to learn from each other and hopefully to be able to overcome and grow together, right? And I don't want this to be an episode or a stream where we are all just hating Patricia and boyfriend as well, but I just want to see things as it is, find out what the facts are, and just get rid of all the excess embellishments or narratives behind it, because that's where all the strong emotions comes from, right? But I believe that if we look behind every single individual, everyone has a reason to be who they are or to act out. Some people act out constructively, some people act out destructively. The question is, how do we get to that point of realizing the flaws in our own human nature, where we do not gaslight ourselves in a certain narrative, where that defensive part of us creates this mental illusion or narrative where we are the heroes in our story, you know, straying us away from the truth. And I believe that this tension exists because of that gaslit environment for whatever reason, right? And we have to face the facts that we as human beings, we are flawed. We make bad decisions, right? But the question is, once we are conscious of the bad decisions, bad behavior, bad habits that we act out, do we step up to take responsibility, take ownership of it, and to grow on a different path? Or do we shy away and lay blame on the world around us, where circumstances happen to us, it's always other people's fault, I'm the victim, instead of standing up, recognizing that it is within our power to face to the truth, to reality? And I constantly share this theory, the theory of reflexivity by George Soros. Right, he made billions just based on the foundations of this idea. He says society or the markets, imagine this: you've got a line where, assuming this is the base reality, right? But how the market responds to this base reality is constant cycles of delusion, right? Where people will go into perspectives of hyper optimism. Oh, gold, for example. Oh, it's going really high, going really high. Yes, 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 yes. But it strays away from the fundamentals, and then eventually, that perspective, that illusion becomes unsustainable, and then it collapses back to reality. And it's what in statistics we call regression to the mean, right? And then it goes in the reverse direction. Then it becomes unsustainable, and then it crashes back up. But this is what we see in society. Right? We buy into the euphoria of the ups and downs, stray away from reality, right? We lose that insight, that accurate perspective of what reality is, right? And what it's trying to tell us. Because what happens is that if we buy into euphoria on either ends of the spectrum, it's like if you're a fighter pilot, you've got all of these dials before you, right? Telling you, oh, at what altitude you're at, how fast you're going, what direction you're going. But imagine if it's totally out of whack, right? Your instruments is not reflecting the reality of what is. You're going to make bad decisions. You're going to crash and burn that plane. And that's what we as humans experience, some on a day-to-day basis, right? Unfortunately, right? So the reason why I created the Thinkers Lounge, created this platform, is to be able to find and reflect upon the truth of what reality is truly trying to share with us, to show us, right? And I'm not talking about, oh, share with me your truth. No. To be exact, what I'm saying is share with me your perspective of the truth. Then together, when we gather our information, our perspectives, then we figure out what is the truth, because that's all that matters. I can respect that you have your experience of reality, right? But what really matters is the underlying truth behind all of it. Everything else is just embellishments. Okay. Then from there we can learn and we can grow as a society and as a whole. And I really first came to this realization when I listened to Rich Dad. Okay, some of you may have heard of Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? But I listened to the actual Rich Dad, right? His name is Keith Cunningham. He's an accountant, and then basically he shares that as business owners, as entrepreneurs, you need to know your numbers, right? That is a reflection of reality. If your numbers are not reflective of the true reality, you're going to make bad decisions, and your business is going to fail because of however you play around with your creative accounting, as it says. So yes, so I give total credit to him on helping me achieve that realization. And also, what's important is that as we go through our day-to-day lives, habits, and cycles, it's very easy to get caught up in our patterns, caught up in our routines. And we don't take the time to just stand back and reflect because it's understandable, right? Life is hectic. Every day, we have to work, we have to figure out ways to survive, especially during these challenging times. Some people are scrambling, right? But at the very same time, during these challenging times, maybe we have more space to ourselves if we choose to take the time to reflect as well. And taking that time to reflect, to meditate upon our life, will give us the greatest yield. It's one of the best investments I feel that anyone can do in their lives. I was very fortunate when I was 12 years old, I believe, where my mom handed me this book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens by Stephen Covey. Right? And within it, there was one habit where he shares about, or one technique he shares about, just take some time, stare at a blank part of the wall, and just empty your mind. At that moment, I didn't know it was meditation, right? I just felt like, oh, these techniques sounds interesting. I want to learn it, and then I just did it, and then it became second nature to me. And I guess for the people who know me, people say, oh, how are you always so patient? How do you reflect so deeply? I didn't realize that I put it into perspective. Put it into practice only until the last half a decade or so, where I got that realization. Hey, it's always I've always put it into perspective. And the funny thing about it, the only downside that I got out of it was that I became detached from my emotions, where I would not allow myself to be affected by the circumstances, the challenges around me. And what happened was that in my relationships, my girlfriends used to tell me that, hey, you're like a robot. You've got no emotion. I don't feel you, right? And I and also because I don't react the way people usually react to a negative situation, for example, right? And especially within an environment where some people may take negative cues, negative reactions as a sign of love, that's even more challenging, right? For example, if you don't get jealous, you don't show jealousy, people find that jealousy is a sign of love. That becomes a problem, right? But what they're seeking for is acknowledgement or signs that they are loved by their partners. And unfortunately, there's a segment of society, or society has shared with us, that being insecure, having jealousy, is a sign that someone loves you, right? But, like what Joey shared about what his mom shared to him, jealousy will only poison the well, right? And it's unfortunate that there are some people who still believe that if your partners are not jealous, then they don't love you. No, the truth is that if your partners are not jealous, they're just not insecure. They're secure about themselves. They're secure about the relationships, right? And it is what it is. But it was a challenge for me to understand why is it that I need to communicate that. Then that's where after failed relationships, where I realized, hey, I need to learn something from this. And then I came across I went through coaching and certification course by Tony Robbins and a top psychologist, Chloe Medanis. They have a certification course called Robbins Medanis Training for marriage education and strategic intervention. Right. And from there, one of the things that was shared with us was the 5 love languages. How many of you have heard of the 5 love languages before? Right, just put it in the comments section below. And it's through the 5 love languages where I realized that different people have different cues on how they accept and receive love. And this is something we all have to understand if we want to truly sustain the relationships in our lives. Some people may receive love through material forms. They may love that gesture of buying flowers, lavish gifts. Some may love words of affirmation, to have that constant reassurance verbally, where your partner tells you, oh, I love you. You're the best. I'm proud of you. Right? And it's true understanding our own love languages, and understanding that everybody has different love languages, where we can really start relating and connecting with each other on the deeper level. And it's not to come to the point where we wrong one another, right? Yeah, I believe that with whatever love language it is, at the core, there's no right or wrong, but there is the salient point of whether it's sustainable or unsustainable. So the question is, are you seeking love or signs of love in a sustainable way or a destructive way? Are you showing it in a sustainable way or a destructive way? Okay. Are you aware of it? How can you be aware of it? That's something to reflect upon, right? So let me just hop onto the comment section right now. Okay. So Azizan says, if Patricia comes on your show, please ask her why she refuses to allow Sophia to meet her dad. Every child and parent have that right. Yes, I agree with you, Zan. I mean, based on what I know, I feel that Sophia should certainly have both parents present in her life, and it would only be to her benefit, right? So that's something we'll get into to figure out more about the current legal framework that we have to operate in. And how is it that we can do what's right for the child, right? Yes, we've heard Joey's story, and then on social media, on the news outlets, is Patricia's story. But the important thing right now is not to forget, what's right for Sophia, right? The system is designed, its purpose is to ensure the best interests of the child at the end of the day, right? So how do we go about it, right? Are there gaping holes in the systems? How can it be improved? Yep. Yes, Edison Chong. Yes, five language of love, and yeah, it's. Let me just search for it so that y'all can look into it. Yep. So it's Five Languages of Love by Dr. Gary Chapman. They have an excellent quiz that is free online. Okay, let me just bring it up for you. This is the five love languages and how it can work from you. This is an excellent quiz. I highly recommend it. The website is five, as in the number five, lovelanguages.com. And I'll bring it up for you. Five lovelanguages.com. And there you go. It's on your screen right now. Fivelovelanguages.com. And going deeper, let's just go into the different five love languages. All right. So they have quizzes for couples, singles, men, military, children, teens, and many, many more. Right. Yep. If there's a single book in relationships that I would recommend, it's definitely the five love languages. And let me just run it through the top of my head to see if I can call it properly. Okay. What are the five love languages? Okay. So the first love language is called words of affirmation. Okay. Where, as I shared before, some of us prefer to receive love through verbal means, where we are assured that our partners loves us by saying, "Oh, I love you." And the question is also how frequent it is. It can be in verbal form, it can be in written form, right? So it's good to see, and start recognizing the people in your lives. It can be your parents, your grandparents, your loved ones, or even your children. How do they receive these love languages? Okay, and the next love language is called physical touch. Okay, so this in NLP we say is kinesthetic. Some people love to feel physically. Okay? It could be holding their hands, giving them hugs, giving them kisses. Right? That's how they receive love. And I think the challenge is within Asian societies, we tend to shy away from physical expressions of love. And I think it's very important for us to understand that there are people out there who needs that physical affection in order to feel love, to know that they are loved, right? And the next love language is receiving gifts. So that's where I share about material things, right? Of course, there are sometimes where we feel, oh, don't be so materialistic, right? But it is what it is. Some people love receiving gifts. And the fourth love language is quality time. Sometimes just being present, watching a movie, being able to have a conversation with one another, spending quality time together, to have that deeper sense of connection, to know that, oh, my partner cares for me because they're spending their time and essentially their life with me, right? So that's the fourth love language, quality time. And then the fifth is acts of service. How they would define acts of service is going out of the way to give, to do, to serve the one that you love. Right? When was the last time that you went out of the way, to go and help your partner? He or she may be facing something challenging. They may not ask for help, but you go out of the way to serve them, to help them, right? And then what we find is that it's very easy for couples in long-term relationships to start getting complacent. As Tony Robbins likes to say, that if we did what we did at the beginning, there will be no end. And I truly believe it. Where, remember, at any point at the beginning of our relationships, we are constantly driven by love, by lust even, right? Where we would do whatever it takes to give to our partner. Consciously or unconsciously, we tap into their love languages at that point in time, right? And we naturally do what works. We take the effort, the energy to actually bother to give and to communicate, right? But what happens is, after we get the beautiful union together, 1 year goes down the road, 2 years goes down the road, 3 years goes down the road. Then eventually, people start laying back, not going that extra mile. And people say, oh, that's where the passion dies. Right? But just because the passion so-called dies doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Okay? That the potential for it doesn't exist. The potential is always there. But it's always remembering, how did we feel back then during that chase? During times where we will go out of our way for our partners. And especially when we go through a very long relationship, it's important to understand that, like what Joey shares, we have all the ups and downs. And because the downs tends to be more emotional, more intense, it's very easy for us to focus on the negative. And what happens then? It takes us away from appreciating and loving the loves of our lives, right? Anger, resentment, that could easily start up with small levels of annoyance, right? Builds up, and then everything just explodes and falls apart. And I believe that if we are aware of that, then we can do something different to maintain and hold and grow our relationships, the relationships that's important in our lives. Where the easiest way to bring us back to that point, to give our all, to love, is gratitude. It's a great practice, right? So let me give you a very simple tool. The next time you're feeling annoyed, angered by your partner or the person that you love, first, take a deep breath. And then start reflecting upon, okay, what can I be grateful for in this person? What's good about this person? To bring some balance into our perspective, to bring us back to reality. And one thing I commend Joey in what he has shared throughout this session is that as much as he's frustrated and angry, he's willing to put things into context, where he says 80% of the relationship was beautiful, right? And if he can do it, we can do it as well. We can bring ourselves to that place of gratitude, where within that environment, we can nurture love and the important relationships in our lives. Okay, Zara, if you say, do I have uninterrupted time with my friends and family? Yes, yeah, quality time definitely is important in that sense, where your entire focus and energy is totally with them, where you're not distracted by your phone. Nowadays, in our modern world, it's very easy to get distracted by the notifications that constantly comes in. When was the last time that we truly spent quality time with the ones that we love? One-on-one, no distractions, right? Just being present with each other. Yeah. Yes, Ross, as you said, we would really like to hear Patricia's side on the story if she's on your show. Yeah, definitely follow the Thinkers Lounge on Facebook and on YouTube. We will definitely put up notifications on that. If it does happen, I do update in my personal Insta story. It's at Ching Yu Tan. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm very active on there as well. Okay, Zarif, you ask, and how could I do to stay happy with my partner? Yes, as I shared, it's really, again, coming back to that point of gratitude, to start seeing what's good in our partner. Because what's very easy to do, the challenges that we face, is that when we become angry, we become frustrated, we have that resentment, we start lashing out at our partners, right? Where we start labeling our partners, where we say our partner is evil, he or she doesn't care, they don't love me. What happens is that labeling, constant labeling day by day, be it internally or externally, starts projecting itself. Our partner then becomes that, at the very least, in our own eyes, from our own perspective, even though in reality, he or she isn't that way. And what happens is that if we have that distorted view of reality of our partners, we won't be able to allow them the room that they need to grow. Yes, your perspective or resentment or anger may come from certain parts of facts where your partner may be annoying or have bad habits, yes. But we need to create an environment which nurtures love. And there's a saying, environment or the context is always more important than the content. Imagine this, okay? If you're trying to grow rice, okay, you can plant it in the most fertile land out there, but then it's winter. Will it be able to grow? No, of course not, right? And that's what we do in our lives mentally. We create winter, where our love cannot blossom into a fruitful and bountiful harvest. At the very least, it is within our control to mentally maintain that accurate perspective and to start nurturing what's good in our partners. There's a saying, what we focus on grows. Okay? And if we focus on the good in our partner, we nurture it. Just start reflecting upon yourself, right? When your partner or those around you, your boss, even when they compliment you, where they say, hey, you did a great job. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. Right? Would you do more of that action or less? You would do more of it, right? And that's what we need to do. We need to constantly nurture the good habits, the good patterns in our partners and those around us. And also to ourselves. Because it's very easy for us to be harsh on ourselves as well. I understand. I've been there. And there are certain times where I still am that way, right? Where we beat ourselves down. We don't forgive ourselves. Where we have to recognize that we are human beings going through this journey. We are not perfect. We are perfect in an imperfect way, right? But we don't know what we don't know. And it's through that fog of war where we make decisions, where we repeat mistakes. We're bound to make mistakes, some big, some small, right? And some people learn fast, some people learn slow, some people need to make mistakes over and over again until they're able to realize it, right? But we have to come to that point of realization and acceptance that this is the human experience. And we just need to learn from it and understand that we all are human, and to have that love and compassion for one another. And then it's through that space where you can create a blossoming relationship. But it first has to start with yourself. Okay.
Bro, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
I'm
hear
back.
you.
Sorry about that, man. That's crazy. I had a crazy little experience downstairs. It's so
No
hot
problem.
outside. Look, I'm so sweating. Been running.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm just going through a couple of comments. Yeah, we were just talking about love languages, nurturing relationships. Yeah, let me just go through a couple
Yeah,
more
please do. Please
of
do.
it. Yeah, and so yeah, Ross Daniel says, Mr. Ching Yu Tan, can you give your personal opinion on this situation that Joey had been through? Yeah. So I think it, as I previously shared, that at the end of the day, what matters is the truth, right? What is reality,
That's the
right?
most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, Joey, you have your perspective and you have the evidence, right, to share your side of the story,
Yeah.
right? And then Patricia has her stories, right, which may or may not be grounded in truth, but from the looks of it so far, right, is built on very shaky foundations, right? But as I was sharing with our audience, at the end of the day, we are all going through human experiences, right, where we get into cycles and patterns, positive and negative, and human relationships are complicated. When we come together, as we see, you and Patricia, you all are these fiery spirits, right?
Yeah.
Passionate individuals come together, and then there's all of this chaos. Things are bound to break, right? And as I was sharing with our audience, what I commend you, Joey, is that you're willing to, well, first take responsibility for your own side, on
I take
what you feel that
Yeah, I take full
you did wrong.
responsibility for
Yeah,
anything that ever happened that I've done that is in the realm of being wrong. I take full responsibility.
yep,
Actually, now I remember what I wanted. Remember earlier I wanted to say something. Here's the thing:
yep,
if you don't ever take responsibility for your actions, you can never be a better version of yourself. Because if you're always thinking that what you're doing is right and you're always in the right, then how can you become a better person? Because you don't know what you need to fix about yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
You see?
And yeah, so it's like what I was saying about, yeah, it's very easy for us to get into that defensive mode where we gaslight ourselves, where we don't want to acknowledge that we have a part to play in all of this, right? Where it's our own responsibility. No,
Can I just
I'm
stop you for a minute there? This
yeah.
term gaslight, I only started hearing it since she started using it. Where did it come from, and how? Why do I hear it in abundance all of a sudden? Is it like a new terminology, or what is it?
Yeah, yeah, but okay. So basically, gaslighting is a term coined in psychology, but uh, in its essence, is imagine if you go into a society where they look at a phone, for example, right? You know, reality is this is a phone, but everybody says this is a water bottle. This is a water bottle. This is a water bottle. Everybody, yeah,
Okay,
puts
okay,
that perspective on it.
okay. I get what you mean. So like, this is my wallet, but actually it's a car.
Yeah,
All right. Okay, I
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
it.
So it's a distortion of reality,
Right.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it happens on a personal level, on ourselves, and on
Uh-huh.
a societal level as well. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So let's see. Zarif, you say, does this relationship add to my life in a positive way? Sorry for asking. Oh yeah. So he's referring to his own personal relationship. So I don't know the details of your own personal relationship, Zarif, but I would say that if we truly want to have a loving and fulfilling relationship, we can't be going into a relationship asking, what do I get out of this? Right? We have to enter a relationship from a standpoint of, what can I give unconditionally? Right? Tony Robbins likes to say this, where he says that there are three levels of love. Okay, the first level is baby love, where it's demanding. It's all about me, 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 me. Why? I want love, I want love, I want love. The next level is called uh, trading, right? Essentially, I'll only give you love if you give me love.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you give to receive type of thing.
yeah, give to receive,
Yeah.
right? And you see, the challenge with people going into that pattern is that, especially if they've been hurt before, right, they hold back, right? So what happens is that when they go into a relationship, they put in like 50% of their love, but what they expect to get in return is 100%. Now that becomes a problem, right? And essentially, with that trading, Tony likes to put it in a crude way. He calls it horse trading or whoring. We are essentially whoring ourselves out, right? And of course, the top level of love is unconditional love. How is it that we can love a person unconditionally, give our all, right? No matter what. And he shares the story of the Dalai Lama, right? Where he says that when the Dalai Lama's essentially what happened in Tibet is like the Chinese government at that time, killed his family, and he had to escape. But when asked, "Do you still have compassion and love for those people?" he said yes. Right? He still loved them as people, right? But at the same time, it doesn't mean that you stick in that toxic environment and get killed in the process. You can still have love and compassion for the person,
Do you know what?
right?
I want to find this. You keep talking, bro. I want to
Right.
find this video on YouTube. I can't remember the name of it, but it's talking about the virtual reality of love. And this guy gives you the most amazing breakdown and explanation of it. You keep talking, and I'll try and
Yep.
find it, and then I'll share it with you.
All right. Great. Yeah. So yeah. So how can we love unconditionally, right? And of course, I also feel to a certain extent, yes, people can say that if you love unconditionally, it's very easy to also get stuck in that cycle of toxicity. Yeah, I recognize that, right? But I think as long, this is my personal opinion, as long as you're conscious about the reality of things and you choose to be in the relationship, then it's okay, right?
Okay,
People
bro.
can,
Yeah.
yep.
I found it. There is a guy. I don't know if people heard of him. His name is Tom Campbell. That's Campbell, which is Campbel, and he has this thing called How Love Works in Assimilation. And there's 3 parts to it. Each part is about 1.5 hours long. I strongly suggest people to read each. I mean, not read, but check that video out. It's called How Love Works in Assimilation with Tom Campbell. There's 3 of those videos. It is so enlightening.
Nice.
And what unconditional love is, and how it's something to do with entropy,
Yep.
and being able to love someone unconditionally. When you love someone, because the love that we give is like you were saying, oh, I love you if you love me back. So we get into a relationship, we fall in love, but if you fall out of love with me, I'm not gonna love you anymore. Unconditional love is like the love that you give to your child. The love that you give to a baby, and he gives a perfect explanation and breakdown, and some people will be able to see why you are in a certain cycle. And this guy helped me to find myself and to help me change my perspective and mentality about thinking about certain things. And I would strongly suggest people to just check it out and look into it, because if you gain something from it, then hey, your life has been enriched. And if it doesn't interest you at all, then you've only lost an hour and a half.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're interested in a session talking about that, leave it in the comment section below, and then we'll probably cover it in a future session. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Amazing, Tom Campbell. Loving the virtue. How Love Works in Assimilation with Tom Campbell. That's the one.
Wonderful. Yep.
Very enlightening.
Yeah. So Azizan says, "Oh, you should be a relationship doctor. I so needed this during my previous breakup. Lol." Yeah, it is in the pipeline. Okay, if you all are interested in it, just share in the comment section. Then maybe I'll just expedite it further. Yeah, but I mean, it's a good feedback. Thank you, Zan. Tia says, agreed. For me, as outsider, like what happened to Joey and Patricia relationship is really personal. But hopefully that one day Sophia will understand and realize what Joey's done today and his years of fight for Sophia. I believe soon Joey will be with her daughter. Because hard work will pay off eventually. Fight for someone who really mean the world to us.
Yeah, I mean, you see, let me explain something to you as well, right? Okay, so I was raised by my mother. My father wasn't in my life, and I don't feel like my father did much to be a part of my life. He didn't do anything. I met my father when I was 13, and the relationship we have is not the relationship I want. The relationship I want is not what we have, And by virtue of that, I'm ensuring that my daughter doesn't have that. Like, at least now I can hold my head high and say to my daughter, I've done everything. There's no reason for you to not want to be a part of my life, or not want to know me, or not want to have the respect for me as a father to you, because I have fought and 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 fought to be a part of your life. So that's what makes it also like the fighting, or not, I wouldn't say the fighting, but the determination to continue on with this, to ensure that I do everything I possibly can to be able to see my daughter. Some people have even said before, I've got messages from some people, and they says, why don't you just give up? Why don't you have some dignity and go start a new family? I mean, I'm fearful of that. Like, I fear for that person and the relationship they may have, because for you to be able to say, forget your child and make a new child, move on. Like, that's just not in my mentality. That's just not in my vocabulary. It's not in my body. I'm not possibly capable of that. And people that can do that are they're wired very differently to how I am.
Does that person have a child?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
We're just on social
I
media. Yeah.
I think it's very easy, especially if a person does not have a child, to say something like that, because I mean science has shown that literally your biological makeup changes once you have a child in your life. You know, you're wired differently, and your attention and focus is on there. And I think I just want to touch on that as well, is that what we find, well, through what I learned in relationship coaching, is that it's very easy for parents to focus their attention on the child once they come into the picture, right? And then what happens is that because the attention has been taken away from our partners can start feeling distant from us, and that's where tension can be built as well. And it's very very easy where I forgot what's the exact term, but basically in any situation where you have different hierarchies. So if you imagine the parents or the couple being at this level, okay, of the hierarchy, and then the children a step down. As long as, like, for example, if on a consistent basis, daddy or mommy takes side with the child, the son or daughter, okay, on various issues against the other parent, that's where conflict will start rising. And then what needs to happen within that framework is to maintain that level of hierarchy where you're constantly aligned, or at least you try to work to be aligned together, and to be in agreement on important issues, so that all these small little conflicts that arises, because here's the truth: once you have a child, nobody is prepared for it, right? We can learn it from a certain level, but once they're in the picture, everybody's new. Yeah, everybody's new in it, and you're learning through this experience together. So it's figuring out that bit by bit, and aligning with each other as parents, and then working together to raise the child. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, as I was saying, I really commend you, Joey, in being willing to speak up, but also at the same time, other than acknowledging what you've done wrong in the past, or taking responsibility for that, you're also willing to put things into perspective, where you say, hey, the relationship wasn't all that bad, 80% was good, right? And yeah, I mean, that's very important to keep into perspective.
It is important to do it, because I could do what it's coming from the other side. I could just be talking about those negative things that happened, and that's an insult to your relationship, because you've been together for so long, and then you make it all about this negativity. Yep. And like I say, a lot of what they say is not even true.
Yep.
But what about the good times? There's a hell of a lot of good times. The way it's made to sound is that it was a living hell every single day. No, it wasn't like that. And you have to acknowledge that. And if you don't acknowledge that, then... And also, here's the thing: I've actually still got pictures of Patricia on my Instagram. A lot of people ask me, "Do you still love her? Do you still?" I don't love her. No, not at all. But the reason why I have those pictures there is because my daughter needs to see her mum and dad together when the times were good, and there were a lot of good times. And if I were to remove those pictures, all right, I might have them on my hard drive somewhere. My daughter one day would probably look through them. But in my Instagram, I haven't removed those photos simply because you can see a timeline. Everything is there in its timeline, and you can see the progression from when we got together to right up to when we had Sophia. And those pictures highlight some of the good times, a lot of the good times. And that's why I have those pictures there, and that's why it's important. And that's why, for me, people say, "Oh, you got those pictures there because you still love her." No, it's not because I love her, because those were good times, and it's important for her, our child, to see her mom and dad together, because of what we're going through. It's so ugly, so messy. It's become so terrible that at least there is some light where Sophia, as a daughter, as our daughter, can look on my Instagram and see like, oh wow, look at my mum and dad. This was my mum and dad together. Look, oh wow, look at my mum and dad here before. This was like 2 years before I was born. Oh, this was 3 or 4 years before I was born. Look what my mum and dad were doing. You know, that has some value to it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's great to see that you have her well-being in mind, and you know, even these details you consider it, yeah, for her well-being. Great. Yeah. So yeah, so let me just go through the entire comments, and then we'll get back on track. Yeah. So yeah, Daniel was saying, Mr. Joey, what do you think of her after she made those accusations that you mentioned?
I think that I worry. I worry for her. I'm concerned for her because the things that she's saying, I believe that the attention becomes addictive. And it's almost as if this is why 2 years down the line, she keeps regurgitating the same old false allegations. But why do you need to keep doing that when, for what reason? What good does it make? We're already 2 years into this. Why? I'm not saying anything. I'm keeping quiet. Why do you need to keep regurgitating it? And then it makes me think that, well, why is she doing it? I don't understand. And then when I see the things that she's saying, I honestly think that maybe she needs I think she needs to speak to someone, a psychiatrist. I think she needs a bit of an evaluation because narcissism and you know what? I don't know. You'll have to ask her. It's the best I can say. Yeah.
Okay. So Zan Azizan asks, Joey, what do your mutual friends say or think about the situation? Have they taken sides? Any neutral parties? Any one of them can mediate for the betterment of Sophia?
Well, I think you'll see that Patricia has all new friends in her life. And she's fallen out with a lot of people. And unfortunately, the thing about her is that she's very set in her way. She's very like, this is what I want. This is what I'm doing. No one's going to tell me different. I don't care, you know? And so it makes it very, very hard to, because I've had some friends try to mediate. They told me they tried to speak to her and said that, you know, hey, you got to do what's best for Sophia. And she's like, oh, whatever. So I don't know. I think, no, unfortunately, she's not the nature of, like, let me just say this. Look, social media, we can portray ourselves to be whomever we want to be. I can put up pictures and videos in a particular fashion and make you think that I'm something that I'm actually not. You know, that's the thing with social media. And what I see on, I know the real Patricia. I was with her for 10 years, and I know the real Patricia. And I don't know what to say anymore, bro. I'm just gonna.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So on to the next question. This comes from Kenny Chai. What happened to the visitation rights awarded by the court to Joey? Is that still valid?
Yeah, they're being there. The visitation rights are still standing. They're in contempt of court. They're breaching all the court orders. They're committing well, I don't know. It's not a criminal crime, but it is a crime against the rule of the court. In fact, over the past 2 years, she has committed contempt of court and breached every single court order there has been. We've had 3 different court orders now, and she's breached every single one of them. And actually, in 2 years, I've only seen my daughter from July to, or was it July or August till September? So only like 2.5 months I saw my daughter. And even then, I only saw her from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on a Saturday, and then from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on a Wednesday. Oh, someone else, I can see a question there. But yeah, they're breaching all the court orders. And here's a problem. Here's a problem with this. I don't know if I can say certain things with this one, but I had a lawyer representing me. He was advising me against Patricia. He received my evidence. I had paid him money for stuff. he knew that I was financially in trouble. He's now representing Patricia.
Wow.
Can a lawyer even do that? Well, I'll find out. We'll find out eventually. So they now know I don't have money. So maybe the breaching of all these orders is an educated breach, knowing that I don't have the funds to follow through with the contempt of court, because whatever funds I do have to go to the federal court. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. But when we get there, all will be resolved. And things are moving. Things are happening. And I'm hoping that I will see Sophia within the next 3 months.
Okay. I'll go through the 2 other questions that Ken asked, and then we'll go to the question coming in from YouTube. So the next question Ken asks is, any action taken to Patricia when Joey was denied seeing Sophia when he has the visitation rights awarded by the court?
No action. The way that you take action in a civil situation is because it's not a criminal situation, it's civil, right? So what happens is that, this is the problem with the system. So let's just say she gets awarded custody and I get given rights of visitation, okay? So the court order will say the mother has care, custody, and guardianship and control. The father is allowed access, visitation by way of notification. If she decides to breach that court order, I can't go to the police, I can't do anything. I have to go and find between 30 to 50,000 ringgit, go pay a lawyer and get a lawyer to take it back to court for contempt of court to get the court to enforce the order. So if you don't have that money, in fact, court order is just a piece of paper. Don't mean nothing. And that's unfortunate. That's very, very unfortunate, because when you've got someone like her who will completely abuse that, which is what's happening, you take advantage knowing that the person, your opposition, doesn't have the money to take you to court for contempt. So screw it, I'm going to just abuse the hell out of that. And that's what happens. Now, what happens is that when someone has committed contempt of court, you need to go to the court, you need to apply for leave from the court, because the court wants to make sure that you are applying for contempt of court on the grounds that the person has really, really committed contempt and you're not being malicious in any way, you know? So you have to go through that process. Then you get the court date for the hearing and such, and then she'll need to come in, she will need to defend herself. And ultimately, if the court is unhappy that there's been a blatant disregard, like a calculated disregard for the court order, the court can and then may impose a prison sentence of up to 1 week and a fine. I've been a bit reluctant at first, because, you know, I always thought to myself, like, wow, if I went to contempt of court and let's just say she was put in prison, how can I ever tell my how can I explain that to my daughter? How can I explain to my daughter, Sophia, yeah, you know, or if my daughter came to me and says, Daddy, Mommy told me that you got her sent to prison and she spent a week in prison. How do you explain that to your child? You know? So I was always a bit reluctant. I was like, okay, no, okay, you know? Because I didn't want to do that. But due to recent events, that mentality's changed, and I realized you have to fight fire with fire now. So, so yeah, there's been no punishment just yet, but there will be.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, there are various considerations within that framework of how do you hold her accountable to and uphold the court order.
Yeah, because here's the thing, someone who has blatant disregard for a court, especially a civil court, what is the point of spending all this money and going to court to receive a court order that somebody is just going to completely abuse, knowing that you don't have the money to take them back to court to enforce the court order? The way it should be, even though it's civil, there should be some criminality to it, because people can abuse it. And let's just say now, I'm in a situation now where I don't have money to go for contempt of court. So my court order means absolutely nothing. So the court, and this is the thing, this is what I don't understand about the Court of Appeal, because ultimately the Court of Appeal created a situation where they have awarded full custody to her, knowing that well, whether they did, I don't know. But her pattern is to consistently breach all the court orders. And in order for me to enforce those court orders, I've now got to go and borrow money or get myself in debt or keep coming up with tens of thousands of ringgit to make sure that she follows the court order. We are on a losing battle all the time. Now, okay, we can ask for costs, and in a matter of contempt, I'm pretty sure you can be awarded the costs. But lawyers aren't cheap, you know.
Yep.
It's not cheap at all, and that's the problem right there.
So yeah, there's certainly a problem in our system. Have you?
I wouldn't say it's our system. I say that it's a worldwide problem, because I think I think some places take it more serious. Like in the UK has a system set up where we got this thing called CAFCAS. I can't remember. It's an abbreviation of what it means, but CAFCAS is the body that's set up to ensure that parental alienation, breaching of court orders and stuff it doesn't happen. And the way that the courts in the UK are set up is that if one party is awarded full custody, and the other party is constantly being cut out and the court order is being breached, or even if the other party is alienating the child from the person who's got the visitation rights, the CAFCAS steps in, evaluates, and if they find that this is being done maliciously, they will transfer the custody from the person they awarded it to onto the person who had visitation rights. That doesn't happen here. It needs to be happening. And that's, you know what, when we go to the federal court, we're going to the federal court on questions of law. The facts and the merits of the case don't matter anymore. The evidence doesn't matter anymore. Now it's questions of law. And hopefully we can raise up this issue. Sorry, I just need to reply something. Yeah, we can raise something on this.
Sure, no problem. Yeah. So I think this is a good point where Joey shared with us, where, you know, in order for you to be able to uphold the law or to uphold your rights, to a certain extent, you need to have sources of financing, and it's unfortunate, and it essentially becomes a game, right, where people can be strategic about resources, especially with the different knowledge that they may have of each other. Yeah, and it's certainly concerning what you shared, Joey, about you know, the lawyer hopping onto the other side. You know,
that's a whole problem. And I don't know, maybe is there legal people in this? Maybe someone could advise me here.
Yeah.
Although I forgot, but a lawyer that was advising me for a good few months, that I paid money to, that had asked me to send him my evidence. I sent my evidence to him. He received everything. Suddenly turns up on the other side.
Yeah,
it's a bit strange. Like I that's why I say to you, there's a lot of strange things happening. There's things that, see, there are things that are happening here. That's why earlier I said collusion and stuff. There are things that are happening here that are so strange, so out of the realm of normal. For me, we're fighting a good fight. I'm doing everything based on fact, based on evidence. I don't need to go beyond that because the evidence speaks for itself. We won at the High Court based on the merits and the facts and the evidence. But there's a lot of strange things going on, a lot of strange things, and it's gone way beyond just the custody now. There's lots and lots and lots of things coming up, and things I can't say too much about now because they're still in process, but when the time is right, it will be found out. But I would just tell the people that there is a whole load of stuff going on, a lot of attacks and a lot of strange things happening that I can't share because I've got things happening behind the scenes. And once we can, then we'll talk about it. But yeah, it's insane. What I'm going through is insane. And some of it I can't even speak about because fear, here's the thing. A lawyer knows the law. A lawyer can be the ultimate bully. Because you know why? The lawyer can harass the living hell out of you. and bring charges on you about anything and everything. And lawyers are supposed to be held to a higher standard. Lawyers are supposed to not, like for me, to be honest with you, I kind of lost confidence in this whole law thing, because there's not. This is the thing. What I'm experiencing, what I've gone through, what I'm happening with certain lawyers, it has made me lose total confidence in lawyers now. Like, how can I trust you? You're working with me. You got all my shit. Now you're over there. Is this how lawyers work?
I think, yeah, from the sounds of it, yeah, it's...
We'll see what happens.
Certainly.
Do you know what? And this person has taken a personal vendetta against me. God knows why. Because this person used to call me bro. This person introduced me to his friends saying that I'm such a great guy. And now this guy's coming after me in every single way possible. And I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But we'll address that when the time comes.
Time will tell. Yep. And Kenny, final question from Kenny was, is the child custody case still ongoing?
The child custody case is ongoing, yeah, man. It's still ongoing. We're waiting for the Court of Appeal to release its findings. And once the Court of Appeal releases its findings, we can then go to the federal court and set a date. But we can't set a date until the Court of Appeal has released its findings. Hence, that's what's taking so long. But everything is in motion. We are fully committed. It's good. I've got an amazing legal team. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. We'll see what happens. And the thing about this is that if we are successful in the federal court, this is going to be the new benchmark for people in my situation. So there's a lot riding on this, actually. And that, like, I had an option at that point to choose whether the funds that came in is to use those funds to go this direction or go in that direction. And we felt that while we're at this level, it was good to go to the federal court, because not only, if we are successful at the federal court, not only will I be benefiting because I'll get a good outcome, but we then lay the groundwork for every single father in my situation. We decided that this can possibly be something bigger than our own problem, you know? So that was why we decided to channel all the funds into the federal court fight. So hence why the contempt of court hasn't been done yet, or has it? We'll find out.
Okay. So based on what you know, would have the framework of marriage made it better for your situation?
Well, I don't know, because in the Court of Appeal, they argued that that was their whole argument, that I'm an illegitimate father. The child is an illegitimate child. We were not married, and I have no rights to my child whatsoever. And in fact, actually, talking about rights, I'll give you an example of the way they speak. Your client has no custody of the child at present. Thus, it suffices to state that your client has no say in whether our client allows any individual to touch, carry, or show affection towards her child. So they're of the opinion that because we were not married, I have no rights to my daughter whatsoever. I have no rights at all. And even in the court, they argued that.
Wow.
And this is the thing that I don't understand. How is it I have no rights to my child? That's my child. My child was born in the UK. I was there. My name's on the birth certificate. I was there. I raised my child. I earned the right to be called my child's father because I did everything that a mother should have been doing, and I did it both roles. So I believe I earned that. But by virtue of not being married, there is this claim that I have no rights, and I have no rights to. They're even claiming here that I have no rights to be concerned for my daughter's welfare because Patricia has custody, and I guess she got custody because we weren't married.
Wow.
It's messy, man. It's terrible, and that was a really hard thing to deal with. It's like,
and
to have some lawyer try to say that you're trying to tell me I've got no rights to my child. Jesus, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, now, I mean, especially when you share the bigger picture of the fight that you're fighting.
Can I show you something? You see that picture there? Do you see anything wrong with that? Okay, apart from the fact that my printer had run out of color, but do you see anything wrong with that picture? No, you don't, right?
No, yeah.
Your client can see the child soonest and we will make arrangement. However, our client requests that you take down that photo. They tried to get me to take down this photo, and if I didn't take down the photo, they refused me visitation with my daughter. They used this. When I told them, I'm not taking down any photo. It's not in a court order. I don't have to follow any orders. I don't need to you're not going to blackmail me. You're not going to use my daughter as a weapon against me. I'm not taking down any photo. So based on that, they stopped letting me see my daughter. That was on the second court order. That was on the first court order.
Yeah.
Strange. Strange.
So,
and do you know what I realized as well? As lawyers, you have to be heartless, man. Because you do what you do, that's what's in the best interest for your client, but is it really morally right? So do lawyers have morals? This is a question I ask. Because sometimes you step outside the zone of what is morally right. Because, come on, you guys know, you know, to tell me to remove a photo of my daughter from my Instagram, or I'm not going to see my daughter again. To put me in that position. Now, I could have been like, oh, okay, I'll remove it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think,
when you start doing that, when does it stop? What would be the next thing? You know? So I was advised legally to not do it. And I didn't do it, and then I never saw Sophia for 6 months because of that. I regret it. I wish I did do it, to be honest with you. But it is what it is.
Yeah. And I think it's also understanding that because how the incentive structures, the typical incentive structures is laid out for lawyers is that, you know, there's a financial incentive behind it to drag on the case as long as possible, and to do whatever it takes within the framework that they may be able to get away with. And that's sad. You know, there are lawyers out there who game the system that way, but it's also saying that, you know, we really need good ethical lawyers who are willing to stand up and do what's right.
And anyway, off the subject of the lawyer, let's talk about that when the time comes. There's something that I've seen come up here. I don't know, are you done with the comments on Facebook?
Yeah, I'll hop back to the Facebook comments later, and we'll go to
There's something here that I saw. Do you feel like Patricia's boyfriend behaved inappropriately with Sophia? Now, hang on. Let me say something. Okay. Do I think her boyfriend is inappropriate with my daughter? No. I'll show you something, and you tell me what you think. I'll show you something, and you tell me what you think about that. See if I can find it. Yes, he is very inappropriate. In fact, I've even made police reports about it. This man. Now, is that appropriate? Is that appropriate? That's my child. Look at his tongue. Look at his tongue. That's my child. That's my daughter. Some man who is no blood relation to my child is sticking his tongue in her mouth. Is that inappropriate? Is that inappropriate? You tell me. I went to the police about this. The police wanted to press charges. They sent it to the deputy public prosecutor. Do you know what the DPP said? They're not taking action. Do you know why? Difference of culture.
Wow.
Difference of culture. The mother allows it, it's fine. And it's a difference of culture. There's no criminality here. If you see the video, my daughter does not ask to have this man put his tongue to her mouth. And when he does it, she says, yucky. And she tries to pull away. Now, if I went to anybody's child and I did that, is that a difference of culture? If I went to an adult and I did that, would I be arrested for sexual harassment? Now, they say it's okay because the mother said so, but I'm the father and I say that that's not okay. Oh, but the mother says it's okay, so it's okay. Now you tell me, parents out there, parents, your little child, a man who is no blood relation to her, to your children, are you going to be okay seeing that? And this is what I talk about. Do you know the pain that gives me? The pain that causes me, that I can't tell my child, that I can't go there. The way they're grooming my child, making it seem like it's okay for someone called uncle to stick his tongue in your mouth, to put his hand on your private parts, to put his hands down his pants, scratch his balls, and rub his hands clean on her hair. I got all of this on video. And they post it on their own social media. They think it's funny. You tell me, are you all right with that? And worst of all, I can't even tell my daughter, Sophia, don't ever allow anybody to do that to you. Daddy will never do that to you. How is it I'm sitting back here watching a man do something to my child that I even wouldn't do, that I wouldn't do? You tell me. And I'm sorry that I get a little bit emotional. You can see on my face.
Yep.
I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with him. And I'm disgusted with the mother that allows that to happen. And furthermore, posts it up on social media, which makes me think what goes on when they're not recording and when she's not around. I don't know. Because if this man thinks it's okay to stick his tongue to my daughter's mouth, what else does he think is okay? That's enough. Listen, mate, Matt, if you see this, that's another man's child. That's my daughter. You shouldn't be doing that, man. Have respect. You wouldn't want another man doing that to your child. Stop sticking your tongue in my child's fucking mouth. I will say that. And I'm upset about that. And I'm sure every parent will understand what I'm saying. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, you've got issues. If you're all right with a man sticking his tongue in your child's mouth, you've got problems.
Right.
Sorry about that.
No problem. And I mean, thanks for sharing. I mean, I can really feel how hard it is, you know, as a father. Yeah.
Bro, this is what I'm saying now. Was I a victim of abuse during our relationship? Yeah, I was. Do I call myself a victim? Do I label myself a victim? No. Do you know why? Because what I said earlier. Because we men are groomed to never hit a woman. And if a woman hits us, we don't hit back. But sorry, man. I'm sorry. The abuse, the mental trauma that I'm suffering every single day, every second, from the moment I wake up, or through the days, for the nights. Am I a victim of abuse for the past 2 years? Yeah. Now that's where I am a victim of abuse. I was a victim of some attacks during my relationship, but I don't claim to be a victim because, as I said, I'm white. But what I've suffered for the past 2 years, I'm a victim of psychological, mental, emotional abuse. To be posting up videos like that, knowing that I'm going to see it, it's only, I mean, it is used as a weapon. It's used as it's a weapon. Knowing how much that hurts me. And I'd like to know any parent to see their child like that, who's not hurt, who won't get upset about it. And I don't care, this man can do a million things right. But that one thing there, what he's done, erase anything that he's done right for my child. And that's...
Okay, yeah. I mean, thanks for being open and frank with us. And yeah, I mean, this is the reality of things, and I'm sure that there are other fathers around that are facing the challenges that you're facing as well, to feel essentially hopeless, to not be able to do something about it. Yeah, I understand.
Do you know what? You just, you know, I feel myself sinking in my chair right now because you know what? You just, I feel hopeless.
Yeah. Well,
I feel absolutely hopeless.
well, hopefully, through the process, I'm sure there's still a long way to go. You can find the right people to be able to drive through what's right. Yeah, but I mean, ideally, be able to just find a way to mediate it if their side are able to talk sense and do it. Hopefully. Yep. So yeah, I mean, we have words of support from here, from Sharon Chichite. She says, "Hey, I'm here from Sweden, supporting you." Yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Sharon. That's very nice of you.
yeah, and
Thank you very much.
yeah, and I think Zarif and Ross was sharing with us. Thank you for sharing your opinion. I appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. And Zan Azizan asks, now that it's COVID and your MCing and DJing jobs are affected, is there any work you could do to sustain your legal battle? We can help open our eyes, ears and eyes, and recommend.
Yeah, I mean, well, I thought about it, to be honest with you. I thought about getting into food because everybody needs food, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought about it, and yeah, I mean, work-wise, food-wise, and I have some options available, but something new popped up, and the CMCO shut that down actually, and I started doing a new job, and CMCO shut that down. So I don't know. Right now, things are tough. Things are difficult. There's no money coming in. The whole entire year I've earned what I normally make in one day. The whole entire year.
Yeah,
And
I think.
But the thing that makes it easier, and is that it's a worldwide pandemic. You see, so all these things that are going on, it's not just me, right? So it's a worldwide thing, and you've got to think to yourself that, look, I might be going through crap and I might be experiencing, but you know what? I got my bed there, I got lights, I got electricity, I got my internet, I got my music. There's someone else out there that doesn't even have that. Yeah. So whenever you think your situation is bad, just remember there's someone out there. There's someone else out there that's in a lot worse situation than you. Yeah. And this is a pandemic. It's a worldwide thing. You know what I mean? There's people dying. People are dying from coronavirus. And you know how they're dying? Alone.
Yep.
Now think of that. And to be broke, to be struggling, to be borrowing money to survive, that's okay. That's not a problem. It's not death. It's fine. You know?
Yeah. I mean, thank you for sharing with us, your courage and, even words of inspiration, given the challenges you're facing, right? Yeah. And it gives us hope that, I mean, it's true that, regardless of where we're at, there's always something that we can be grateful for. And we just keep moving forward day by day, right?
I think for me, I'm very fortunate that I have great people in my life, okay? But I'm also very fortunate that I have music in my life. And my mind, it's very therapeutic for me to make music. And some people that follow me will know that I'm constant. I release some music, but I don't put all my music out there. And for me, it's more of a way to release, a way to take my mind off of things and to get into, time goes fast. Like, 5 hours making music seems like 1 hour. And it's good to have that. So in this situation of the coronavirus, if you're, you know, if you're not being able to go to work and you're stuck at home and you're not doing some of the activities that you normally do, try and pick up a hobby. Try and get into something that, you know, build stuff, paint stuff, draw stuff, make music, learn to DJ, learn to play a guitar or something. Use this time to give yourself some kind of skills, but also occupy your mind, learn a hobby, get into something that makes you feel good. And it's very easy to drift off into the world where everything is okay and then come back to reality afterwards while you're focused on your hobby, which in my case is making music. So I'm very fortunate that I have those things, and the love that I have for music enables me to be able to do that. So yeah, I'm not, you know, even though no work and no stuffing, I do keep myself occupied, and my creativity is always flowing because I'm able to make music. And I suggest for other people to take up something as well like that, you know.
How did you personally build up that mental strength and fortitude and being able to, you know, find it within you to move forward?
I don't know, because you don't have a choice, right? It's not, it's like you just don't have a choice. And if you don't, look, I might be mentally strong, but like you, okay, one thing about me, I'm coming from a television host background. I come from the entertainment industry, so we are very good. People who come from the entertainment industry are very good at switching off and not showing what's going on inside. So you see me from the outside, and I'm blah, 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 strong, okay, cool. But I'm in pain inside. And that's the truth. But, so when you ask me where do I get the strength, I don't know, because I don't think of where I get the strength. I just get up and live. I live my life. You know, I'm trying to do what I can do. And I try to get by, and I don't even know. I don't plan. Like, I don't say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm just living. I'm living day by day. I don't know what's happening. Well, I do know what my schedule is tomorrow, but I don't know what's happening the day after tomorrow, you know, type of thing.
Yeah.
So where does the strength come from? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a very independent person, and I have found. Well, this goes back to what I said earlier. Remember when I said when we broke up? Remember when I broke up, right? I was talking about that, and I said that I've always felt like I needed to be in a relationship. That's why I was always in long relationships. Well, when I decided to try to change that about myself, I went through this thing of like finding happiness within yourself, finding happiness, like making sure that your happiness comes from here and not from you people you surround yourself with, which is all good, by the way, but not from people you surround yourself with, not from the items that you have, not from the material things that you have. But when you can wake up in the morning and have absolutely nothing and be happy with yourself, you found true inner peace. And I didn't mean to get there, but I wanted to, and I don't know how it happened, but I just know that one day I woke up in the morning and I felt amazing. And I said, everything is good. Everything is great. I forgave Patricia. Actually, she doesn't say it. I sent her an email and forgave her for everything, wished her and her boyfriend all the best, wanted to start the new year on a great note and move on from everything. And that was some, when you can let go of any baggage, it makes things easier to deal with. When you can forgive someone and really let go, a huge weight comes off your shoulder, man. And that by doing that, you gain some strength, some inner strength. I don't know, but I will also say this as well. I haven't always been like that, bro. I mean, I'm 40 years old now. With time, with age comes knowledge and patience, right? And I believe that the one thing that I've learned through this whole entire experience is to be patient. And by being patient, you can handle a lot of things easier, you know? And when we're younger, we're not patient. We're not, oh, I want to do this, no, you know? But when you get older, you start to slow down a little bit, and you kind of like, you look at things in a different perspective, and you start to look at things a little bit differently, and try to bring patience into your life. Be patient about things, and try to live with no expectations, really. Because if you live with expectations, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. So I try to live with not having an expectation, and when something great happens, you're overwhelmed. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I didn't expect that to happen, you know?
That's right.
And when
Yeah.
something doesn't happen and it goes wrong, you're not disappointed because you wasn't expecting much, you know?
Yeah.
So my bar is either I don't have expectations or my bar for expectation is very low.
Yeah. I think as the saying
It works for me. I'm not everyone else. It could be different for other people, but for me, it works.
Yeah, I think as the saying goes, pain comes from the difference between expectations and reality.
Yeah.
That's the intensity of pain that we feel.
You see, okay, you see what you just done there? You see how see that gap? How can you lower the gap? You need to bring that gap closer. Reality and expectation. If you are going to have expectations, don't put expectations so high. Put it just above the reality. Because when it supersedes that, then it's amazing, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go beyond that, then it's still okay because you wasn't expecting much. You see?
Yeah. And I think what you shared, the practice that you unconsciously or stumbled upon is really like what Eckhart Tolle shares about the power of now. Being totally present in the moment. You know, not living in the future, not living in the past.
Yeah.
But day by day. Yeah. Very wise.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah. Zan Azizan was asking, can you name shame that unethical lawyer despicable? Well,
No, I can't
don't
because
think
because you know what? He's coming after me with everything. And when the time is right, I will be coming out. I'm hoping to do a press conference, but there are some obstacles I got to get through because there's some very, very bad things that have happened to me. And I have to be careful because they know the law. They can make my life hell. And they are, trust me. So once it's at that stage, name and shame him, definitely, if I can.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Or rather, I think it's to just...
To be honest with you,
even
I'm pretty sure that they're watching this. They will be monitoring this. And they'll be looking for anything that they can use against me. And I'm pretty sure he might even try to come after... Now, if after all this, they come after me, then of course I will put it out. Because if they're going to come after me, then... Because that's what they're doing. And if they're going to try and... Whatever I'm mentioning now, he's going to try and come after me. Fine, all right, come after me. Then we can blow everything up. We can get the media involved. And we can go all out, you know? But until that point, I'm going to deal things with that issue through the proper channels.
Yep. Okay. So Zan Azizan also shares, I saw the video of her BS scratching his crotch and then later rubbing his hands on Sophia's head. Gross.
Yeah.
And Jayan J was saying, should sue the firm for conflict of interest and report the lawyer to Bar Council for unethical behaviour.
I have reported the lawyer to Bar Council. I reported the lawyer to the Bar Council when, what are we? November in, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. I got nothing. They haven't even called me. Nothing. And this particular person gave me his card before, and on his card, he is a Bar Council board member or something. Sits on the board of the Bar Council. Is something strange happening here? I don't know. I'm just going to test with time. If nothing happens from my complaint, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? We'll see.
Yeah. I think the good thing about you is that you're willing to play the long game and not compromise on your values and ethics to win the short term.
No, we're playing. We've look. There are so many things. Immigration, tax. There are a lot of things I'm not going to mention, but involving these areas, I'm pretty sure you might know what I'm talking about. If I wanted to go down that path, I could. Why? That's not what I want. I want my child. I just want to have a relationship with my child. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to ruin your life. I don't want to ruin your reputation. But I have to defend myself when you call me out like that. My fight is we are fighting a good fight. I'm only trying to see my daughter. They are coming at us with everything. Even trying to get me put in prison, trying to get me deported, and the list goes on and on and on. And do you know what? At some point, when this is all over, maybe I should write a book about it. Because I'll tell you what the people don't know is way more interesting than what you all do know. Because there is a lot going on that you don't know. Which I can't say because, unfortunately, I'm not in the, I don't have the financial backing to be able to do it. But I will say to them, don't take that as for something that you can come after me now, because you'll be surprised. You'll be very surprised, because there are some very good people in this world. Very good people. And they will be coming out very soon.
Good to know. Yeah. And Edda Querida says, Joey G, send you virtual hugs and lots of love.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I just want to say something. I want to say something to everybody out there. Like, I get sent a lot of messages from people, and I don't reply a lot of them. I read them. I read them all. I'll be honest with you. I do. I read them all. And I don't reply some of them. And I'm so overwhelmed with the positive response and the show of support and empathy towards my situation. And some of these people, I've never met. You know, you don't know me, but some of them can just understand. Some of them are parents. Some of them know. You can understand the situation that I'm in. And I just want to say to everybody that thank you all so much, man. I mean, like, I'm a very simple person. And I appreciate very kind gestures, and I appreciate even someone taking the time to write to me. You know, I really, really appreciate that. And when I get round to replying people, I do let people know that. So I just wanted to say that all of the people that have shown me support and, you know, not turned their back on me and not taken the opinion that the other side has taken, I appreciate you for that, and I thank you very much. And just know this, that you all give me strength. Do you know what? That's where my strength comes from. Because you know what? People always messaging saying, keep up, Joey, you're fighting for your daughter, you're fighting for your daughter, you're fighting for your daughter. Okay, maybe I'm doing something right. So you give me a lot of strength to carry on with this, you know? Because I'll tell you something, there's been days where I cry, man. I call my mum. The only person I cry to is my mum. My mum gets it all the time. But I have my days where I can't, it's just so, I need to just let it out, you know. I call my mum and I cry and I tell her I want to, you know, this is taking its toll on me, you know, I'm losing weight, I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping, and, you know, my heart's broken and I need to come home, and I think maybe I should give up, and maybe I should just go and build my life and then come back when Sophia's of age, and yeah, and you know, it's lucky I have people like my mum, and even like my mum, you know, my mum even said to me, Mum, I was like, you know, I don't think I want to do this, man, the money. My mum said to me, Joey, you can always make back the money, you can never get back the time with your child. Never choose the money. If you have money and you have to spend it all, spend it. You've got us, we're your family, we'll help you out. You can always make back the money. Your money's nothing. The time with your child, you'll never get it back. And if you don't get your child, at least you can walk out with your head held high, knowing that you did everything right. You fought for the child, you gave up your life, you gave up your savings, you gave up everything, you went bankrupt for it. What child will hate you for that? Right? Someone just asked, why don't you fight this case in the UK court as Sophia is a UK citizen? Well, we fall under the jurisdiction of Malaysia, and yeah, we fall under the jurisdiction of the Malaysian court system. I mean, it would have been great to have it in the UK, to be honest with you, because we went to the UK. The UK system is set up in a much better way, and like driving a car without a license, taking video selfies while you're driving with a child in the back, a lot of things that, you know, I've gone to the police and made police reports about her driving my daughter without a license. Police did nothing. You do nothing. In the UK, in London, if a mother was driving a car without insurance and a license with a child in the back, do you know how serious that is? Because if you don't have a driving license, you haven't taken a test. You don't know the code of the road. You're not aware of certain things. If you don't have a license, how do you have insurance? If you don't have insurance, how are you protected? If you get into an accident, and you have a serious injury, how do you cover your medical costs? Furthermore, if you harm someone else, how do you cover their medical costs? In the UK, it's very serious. In Malaysia, don't have license? Oh, you go to JPJ, see what happens.
Wow.
Seriously. And let me just remind people, on all the court documents, she claims that she takes taxi everywhere. How many people follow Patricia and have seen all the selfies that she's put up with Sophia in the back of the car while she's driving? But in the court papers, she says that she takes taxi everywhere.
Yep.
The court system may be more favorable to you as a father. No, the court system is not necessarily more favorable to a father. Actually, they're more favorable to a mother. But if there is a certain circumstances that dictate that maybe the father should be in control, then the court will do what's best for the child. Okay? And if you can present a case where you can show that, okay, this, and this is a problem, I would be better because of this, and this. And if the court accepts that, then of course you can win that. But no, actually, you're wrong. Actually, the court does, even in the UK. That's why even in the UK we had like this organization set up, Dads for Justice or Fathers for Justice, and you know they did this crazy thing. They dressed up as like Batman and Robin, and then they climbed the Parliament building to create awareness, and they managed to get some laws changed, if I'm not mistaken. But what's good about the UK is the UK court system sees through all the rubbish, and there are things that the UK court system will not accept that the system in Malaysia has just brushed off easily.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting insight into the UK system versus Malaysia. And yeah, so we've got Edda Querida who says, can't wait to see you reunite soon with Sophia. We'll pray for your strength, peace, comfort, justice.
Can I tell you something? Look, see my hair standing up? My hairs are standing up with you saying that. Look, I've got goosebumps. Look at that, yeah? Do you know why I get goosebumps? Because the day when I'm reunited with my daughter, they got my daughter every day. They don't have nothing to look forward to. See me, I might be going through pain, but I have got the biggest thing to look forward to. And you know what that is? That is the day I get to be with my daughter, the day I get to show my daughter her family, the day I get to travel with my daughter, the day I get to show my daughter how cool her dad is. And you know what? I can't wait for that. And that gives me something to smile about. And that gives me something really great to look forward to. I don't know when that's going to be. Could be within the next 2 or 3 months. Could be a bit longer. We don't know. We'll see. But definitely something to look forward to. So thanks for bringing that up. That definitely reminded me that I got something really great to look forward to.
Yeah, wonderful. And yeah, so Jasmine Kairat says, yes, please write a book about it when all of this is over. We are rooting for you.
Thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate that. And it's definitely book worthy, and I've definitely got a lot of evidence, and I've got a lot of stuff. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. And, you know, what would make this more book worthy, okay? If we are successful at the federal court and we manage to get the law looked at and we manage to pave new ways for fathers in my situation, then that is definitely, this whole experience is definitely book worthy.
So hopefully it goes through all
hopefully,
the way.
Man. Hopefully,
your,
you know, we can only
persistence.
We can only try, and we can only try with the best intentions, and fight. You fight a good fight. That's all you do. You speak the truth. You rely on your evidence. You do what's morally right. And that's it. And if you get screwed over, you get screwed over. That's just the way it was meant to be. But at least you know you did everything right. And that's the way I am.
Yeah. So we have Azura Saleh who says, but how did she escape the law? I thought you had visitation rights. This is so sad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, she's not escaped the law. She is currently in contempt of court. She's breached the court order. Now, They have used an incident which they created as justification to override a court order. But here's the thing. Let's just say the incident that they claimed happened. Let's just say that for argument's sake, it did happen, right? Let's just say it happened. Hypothetically, it happened. Even if it did happen, they are not within any legal right to dictate a court order. The correct process is they should have gone back to the court, made an application to vary the order. They should have presented their evidence to the judge, told the judge why this court order needs to be changed and why I need to be kept away from my daughter. That's what should have been done. That is the proper process. Instead, what they've done is taken the law into their own hands and created lots and lots of stuff, lots of obstacles in front of me that I've got to get past before I can get to my contempt now. And it's funny because you know what? Again, I keep my mum. My mum was saying it, and you know, my mum knows everything, and I tell her everything. And my mum said, you know what my mum says to me? When I tell her what everything that's going on, she said to me, bloody hell, Joey, I'm watching the show Suits. This sounds exactly like Suits. What they're doing to you is what goes on in Suits. So if you want an idea of what I'm going through, watch the series Suits. I haven't seen it, but my mum seems to say, Jesus, it's the same as what you're going through, Joey.
Yeah. The drama that you face is not far from the drama on TV.
The bombarding of cases, allegations, and this.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. So
and here's one thing I will say. Here's something that I will say also about like Patricia and the allegations of abuse. You show us one picture. If I beat you up, I'm a Muay Thai. I do Muay Thai. I know how to punch. I know how to punch like a professional puncher. I know how to kick and elbow. If I beat you up, where's your marks? Even a bruise, anything. If I hit you on the face, anything. These things never happen, man. Anyway, so what was that? I saw there was something that popped up there. Sorry, what I meant that maybe your chance of success is better in the UK than in Malaysia given your situation there. Yes, Chateau 100. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And we have Zana Zizan says 3.5 hours and ongoing. Longest web chat I've been an audience in, lol.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is almost as long as that movie, The Irishman, that everyone was complaining about. All right, guys. Well, if you're still here and you're not bored, then obviously something good is happening, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much for taking your time to be with us here today. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's very important for your message to go out there.
Yeah.
And you know what made you decide to start speaking out? I mean, especially for a person of your stature in terms of being in front of the media.
Yeah, why I started speaking out is because before it was always like, I don't need to speak out because my evidence is for court. And we won at the court. The evidence spoke for itself. On the merits, on the case, on the evidence won at the High Court. Patricia was ruled unfit. She was ruled unfit as a mother by the High Court based on the facts, evidence, and merits of the case. The court dismissed her, not allowed to apply for full custody ever again. She went to the Court of Appeal, right? And that's when it got reinstated. What was the question again?
Yeah. So I mean, the question was, how is it that you found or you made the decision to start
to come out and speak out? Okay. So once that had happened, on the 17th of June, I think it was the 17th of June, now look, if you don't believe me, go and check this. You can all see this for yourself. The day that I lost at the Court of Appeal, I posted a video and I was a defeated person. I was defeated. I was done, ready to pack my bags and go. I had no money. I had nothing left. I felt like, okay, this is done. And in my head, I had built up in my head that, okay, maybe what I need to do now is I need to go back to the UK. I need to focus on myself, back to the UK, go see my family, rebuild myself, maybe start some business up, get into some work, buy a house, and start to think of Sophia's future. And I was all right about it. And like, I was defeated. I was finished. I was, you know, the next day, it would have been over for me. Like, I'm starting to exit, you know? That's how I felt. Then she went and posted a picture of the 3 judges from the Court of Appeal. She took their headshot pictures, profile pictures, put it up on her social media, and used their pictures to validate her version of events. She basically said along the lines of, thank you for finding the truth in what happened to me and showing the truth of whatever. I can't remember what it was. But basically, via manipulation, which was a clear-cut instance of manipulation, was to use the image of the judges to validate her version of events. Because she said on the lines of, oh, everything that's happened to me, thank you for finding the truth and for proving all the stuff, something like that. And at that point, that was when I was like, you've taken my child, you've tarnished my name within the industry that I spent so long building up. People are slagging me off. All my money's gone. And I've always kept quiet because I knew that my evidence proved wrong everything that you've been saying. And now you're going to try to use your win based on law, that you won based on your facts, and that your version of the story is true. No, that's not, no. I said, when I saw that, I said, I got nothing to lose anymore. I'm not letting her take the last little bit of respect that people have for me. You know, you've taken everything. I'm not letting you take that. And that was when I said, that's it, I'm coming out. And I started a campaign called Debunking a Manipulator. And it was at that point, that was when I decided I'm going to go all out and I'm going to address every single lie that she said. I'm going to prove everything wrong, and I'm going to dish out some evidence, and I'm going to show. And that was when bam, 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 I started to come out. Now, I did that. Then she started to come out again and started trying to attack. So it went on for days. I had a terrible time over that. You know, I had a bit of a breakdown. I had a panic attack. I lost during that 3-4 weeks. I lost about 7 kilos in weight. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. It was a terrible time. And yeah, I mean, it's just messy time. And then what happens is, since that day, I don't even notice, I went quiet, I've gone silent, because for me, I got to the point where I felt like, okay, I have proven enough now, I have given enough, I have put enough out there for people to start having a fair amount of reasonable doubt. Okay, I don't need to put any more out anymore. And I stopped. And then the other day she goes and puts out something on social media again, saying something about you. I know what he's capable of and what he can do to me and my family, and he's done this and he's done that, especially with a kid around, and he's done, you know, I know, all this weird thing. She even put up a post saying something about hitting her and telling her she deserved to be hit. Do I seem like someone that would hit a woman and tell a woman you deserve to be hit? Jesus, I mean, it's beyond me. And it's like, it gets to the point where it's like, no, look, I could have 2 things. There has been a couple of times, like the podcast, I haven't gone into the podcast, to be honest with you. Because you know why? I'm taking that to court. That's fine. I don't need to go into that too much because it's all rubbish on it and I could prove a lot of it. But when she starts putting stuff out, and this is the thing, this is like, maybe, Patricia, if you're watching this, on the day, end violence against women, if you want to support people and you want to be an advocate for people, be an advocate for them. Don't drag me through the dirt to do that. Don't ruin my name. Don't ruin my reputation. And don't get your sympathy off the back of me and say a load of things that are not even true, like false. I am calling you, Patricia Knudsen, you're a liar. You are a liar. And I can prove it. Okay? It's like, I couldn't sit back again. Like, everything's been so peaceful. You know, I managed to put back on some weight. I'm getting a bit healthy again, and blah blah blah. Everything's been so good. And when I saw that, I didn't want to do it, but it's like, you know what? I can't have this. I can't. She's continuing to do this, and furthermore, she is now an advocate for various organizations. Do these organizations even know that this is their advocate for abuse? This is her work. Huh? And it goes on and on and on and on and on. So I couldn't keep quiet, and I came out and spoke. And it's like, if you don't keep quiet, I mean, like some people say, oh, you should just keep quiet, you should just keep quiet. Yeah, but in some sense, I'm not a normal, average, everyday person, right? Where I can just disappear into my family and stuff. I work in the public eye. My work relies on me being popular, or me being good at what I'm doing, and me having a good reputation, me working with the brands that I work with, you know? Now you're putting out stuff like that, trying to ruin my reputation, trying to ruin my ability to be able to earn $1 or a ringgit, which means that you're trying to hamper my ability in order for me to be able to have funding to go to court, to carry on this fight. No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. And the truth needs to be told. And hence why I came out again, and I was proving again. And I will say this going forward. Patricia, I don't want to fight with you. I'm trying to be a father to my daughter. And you can do what you want all day long. But I am going to be here for the rest of your life, my life, and Sophia's life. And you're not doing anything but prolonging the drama for Sophia when she finds out everything about this. Okay? I got no fight with you. Stop it. You want to be an advocate for women? You should. Great. Listen, you have a voice. People look up to you. Be an advocate for women, but do it in the right way. Be honest, Patricia. You know certain things didn't happen. You know that. That's true. And you can't use me as your platform. You've got the platform now, okay? Use it better. Like, you want to be an advocate for women? Be an advocate. Support them. Speak about them. Don't make up bullshit stories and drag me through it. You know? Seriously, there's ways to do things in a right way that doesn't damage people. Like imagine what she does. She puts up that post. It forces me now to go and defend myself. I got to come out and put out all of this nonsense, which I hate, but I got to do it. My daughter's going to see all of this. Our daughter's friends in school, their parents are going to see all of this. Your boyfriend, Patricia, if his family Googles your name, they will see all of this. Don't you care? Don't you care about your boyfriend? Don't you care about everybody? Because I'll tell you something, I will not put nothing out about you if you are not putting nothing out about me. I will never respond. I will never do this. Please, I'm begging you. Leave me alone. Let me fight for my daughter in the court system and leave me alone to get on with my life. And you get on with your life and I'm happy for you. But leave me alone, please. Be an advocate, be all those things. You should, you have a platform. You are a great person to do that. But don't tarnish me in that process and just leave me alone, please. Okay, please. We can be good, we can be okay. I don't want to fight you. I love my child, that's all. That's deep. That's very deep.
Yeah. You've got a big heart, Joey. Yeah.
I don't know. I believe I have a big heart.
Yeah. And yeah, so we've got Azura Saleh who's sharing, thank you for being brave to open up to the public. This should be more transparent. Yeah.
Yeah. What you see is what you get. I got nothing to hide, and I'm a transparent person because I am how I am. If you like me or you don't like me. And the way I do things might jive with some people, it might not jive with other people. But that's what life is. It's yin and yang, cause and effect, push and pull. Yep. It is what it is. And I appreciate the support.
And we've got Mel who says, Joey, sorry if you don't mind me asking, when was your last conversation with Sophia and was it still the same?
My last conversation with Sophia was on September 29th. 2019, and I'll show you. I got it That was the last day I saw Sophia. We went to the swimming pool and she was making cups of tea for Daddy because she knows that Daddy likes cup of tea. So we sat at the swimming pool together and we had a wonderful day. She went swimming, she drove around in her car, she made cups of tea for Daddy, and you know, we had a beautiful day. That was the last day I saw or spoke to my child. That was on September 29th. September 29th, 2019. And do you know what the thing is? They won't even, like, okay, if you say that, okay, I was violent and I tried to attack your boyfriend and blah, 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 okay. For argument's sake, let's just say that did happen. Why don't you let me have a video call? Why can't I video call? Why can't I wish my daughter happy birthday? Why can't? And you know, they cut me off 4 days before her birthday. And you know what the hard part of that was? I was seeing my child all the ways before that, and I was taking her out to the shops and showing her, say, Sophia, your birthday's coming up, what do you want? And she likes cars. Like Sophia, I don't know about now, but when she was with me, she liked cars. Like she liked the little Matchbox cars. I got a little pink car that she drives all the time. And then she'd always be saying to me, Daddy, please, Daddy, can you get me a big car? You know, can you get, because this pink one has got too small for her now. She's like, Daddy, can you get me the big car? And I was like, of course, Sophia, you know, I'll get you the big car. And then like we saw it, we went to like Child Kit there, they got the cars there, and there was like a Jeep one. And she's like, oh, Daddy, please, can you give me the big car? I was like, yeah, Sophia, don't worry, I'll get you the big car. I promise you, you know, you're going to get the big car for your birthday. Do you like this one? Yeah, okay, we'll get it for you. And then they cut me off. I didn't get a chance to give it to her. So imagine for a child, all that building up that you put in a child saying that, yeah, I'm going to get this for you. And she's so excited. And Daddy, please, can you get it? And then they cut me off.
Wow. So we've got another question here saying, from Jasmine Kairat. Says, Joey, if you don't mind me asking, is there a reason behind your surname being missing from Sophia's name? Was it removed or intentionally not added in?
It was intentionally not added in. My last name is Ghazlan. Patricia did not want her child to have a Muslim last name. And we fought. But you know what? I ended up giving in because all I wanted was to have a baby. And I just said, you know what? Fine. And instead, Sophia has Sophia Sulin O'Brien. O'Brien is my mother's name. My mother's last name is O'Brien. Patricia wouldn't put my last name because it's Muslim. And she said she didn't want to have a Muslim name in her family. And I regret that so much. But you know what I did? Sophia Ghazlan. Because I will never see my daughter with my last name. So I had it tattooed on my arm. And they're separated. But when they come together, you see Sophia Ghazlan. Now I get to see what my daughter would look like if she had my last name. And it's a beautiful name, Sophia Ghazlan. Instead of Sophia Sulin O'Brien Knudsen, which is long. Do you know how long that is to write on applications and passports and immigration cards? Yep. Jesus, man. And now I saw some photos of Sophia's name in her school, and they've removed the O'Brien as well. So now it's just Sophia Sulin Knudsen. So they're trying. She's trying to erase all the existence of me, and she's succeeding at it right now. Because here's the question. Here's what I want to put out now. Because here's the thing also. Because the narrative on their side keeps changing. First it was like, oh, I'm violent to Patricia and da 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 da. When that don't work, now she's saying that I'm violent to my own child. Okay? Do you see how my child is with me? If I was violent to my child, do you think my child would have the bond that she has with me? And furthermore, what? Who can be violent to their own child, man? Bloody hell. And oh shit, man. Where was I? I don't even know. I'm just my mind is like.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, you were talking about the name.
The name. You know, bro. I'm sorry, man, because my mind is thinking like so many different things. Yeah, I'm going a little bit off track. I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Plus, it is 1 o'clock in the morning now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you were sharing more about how their narrative keeps changing throughout.
Hmm?
He
How the
was
what?
saying how their narrative
Oh yeah,
keeps.
how the narrative. I said the narrative keeps changing, and now it's about like she's saying that how Joey, he's gonna, like, she put up a post. I'm protecting my child, and you're not gonna take my child's childhood. You're not gonna ruin her life, and this, that, and the other. But if she was smart, now if I was really capable of doing anything like that to my own child, a smart person would do this. A smart person would let me have my child, knowing that I am gonna do that. Knowing that the minute I do that, you've got something that can have me removed from my child for the rest of her life. Patricia, come on. Jesus, like there's so many things that just don't make sense. Don't make sense. If I was that type of person, come on. You called me the best dad in the world. Now I'm the worst dad in the world. Make your mind up.
Well, hopefully by putting this out there, we can find the right people, and
Yeah.
certainly we'll speak more after this to see if there are people and resources I can share with.
Guys, I gotta go soon, unfortunately, because
Yeah.
it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and
Definitely.
I've got some
Yeah.
stuff that I need to settle. It's been a night, 4 hours, man.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to do this again with you. I mean, if the people, if you have questions and you would like to ask any questions, and there's things that we didn't address or things that we didn't speak about in this particular conversation, then write them down, put a message on the Facebook or wherever, and I'll be more than happy to come back and do this again. It's so nice to speak to you. It's nice to be able to speak with the story. I'm sure her lawyers are trying to decipher everything now, and I'll probably get a letter next week. We'll see. But it's nice. It's nice to be able to speak about this and get these things off my chest, and it's nice to be able to put out the real version of events.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Joey, for sharing with us your story, and hopefully, as the message goes out, you also find the support that you need to pull through to fight the good fight. As you share, and thank you everyone who has been sticking with us throughout this stream. We really appreciate it, and do tune in. Follow us on Facebook. Joey is very active on his Instagram. You can find him over there, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. So, any final words, Joey?
Yeah, I just want to say I rarely use Facebook. I only just reactivated it today for this. So if you wanted to get in contact with me, you can do so on Instagram. I'm more there. I also want to say thank you all so much for joining us and actually taking 4 hours out of your life to listen to me blabber about my situation. And I really appreciate the fact that you are interested to know about this. So I really, really appreciate it. But I want to end on this. I want to end a note on, I met a great man recently. This man wanted to help me. This man was a good man. He was a good soul. He fought for his children for 8 or 9 years. He knew exactly what I was going through. I was introduced to him by Sassy the Don. Sassy, respect to you. And his name is Gerard Lazarus. And he passed away 2 days ago in an operation. He was my lawyer. And I just want to give a special note. I want to start this show saying thanks to Gerard. And I'll end this show saying, Gerard, rest in peace. Thank you very much. You're a great man. And the debt that I owe you for you wanting to help me out will be passed on to your children. And if there's anything I can ever do for your children, they just need to get in contact with me and let me know. All right? Thank you very much. Gerard Lazarus, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Thank you very much for the final words. And Sophia, if you're listening to this, my platform is open to share your side of the story. And so
Sophia, my little girl, if you ever see this, I just want you to know that Daddy loves you. And you will know that, don't worry. Daddy loves you with all his heart.
Yeah. And I also meant my platform is open to Patricia to share your side of the story.
Yeah.
I'm open. We're open. So,
and that's the way it should be. Thank you very much for doing things correctly. There are 2 sides to every story. You know what? And sometimes what the best is this: listen to side A, listen to side B, and then you make up your mind in the middle. That's the best way to be. Non-bias.
Okay, great.
All right,
Thanks once
guys.
again to everybody. Thank you, Joey. Yeah, have a good night.
Thank you all
See
very
soon.
much and good night. Take care. All the best. Ciao, ciao.
All right. Ciao, ciao.